A 4-year-old beggar girl is forced to lick a dirty shoe for a piece of cake. But a millionaire saw everything and something happens. Comment on what you think will happen. Your opinion is very important, and subscribe to my channel to support my work. Your help is very important. The dirty shoe pressed against the trembling lips of Lily when she finally gave in. The 4-year-old girl, with tangled brown hair and clothes that no longer fit her skinny little body, ran her tongue across the muddy sole of the white sneaker as the cruel laughter of the teenagers surrounding her echoed. "That's right, princess. Now you get the cake," mocked Jake, a 17-year-old boy who was holding his phone, filming everything while his friends laughed and egged on the humiliation. Lily swallowed the bitter taste of dirt and mud, her big dark eyes fixed on the piece of stale cake dangling in the hand of Ashley, a blonde-haired girl who seemed to enjoy the suffering of others. "Do it again! It didn't look good on camera!" shouted another teenager, provoking more laughter from the group that had formed in front of Tony's Bakery in the center of the small town of Harmony Creek, Ohio. It was a busy Saturday morning. People passed by on the sidewalk, some stopping to observe the scene, others averting their eyes in embarrassment. The smell of fresh bread coming from the bakery contrasted cruelly with the degrading situation unfolding outside. Lily didn't know how she had gotten there. Her memories of the last few months were fragmented, like pieces of a puzzle she couldn't put together. She vaguely remembered her mother, Isabella, 28 years old, shouting nonsense in the small apartment where they lived. She remembered the day she woke up and found her mother talking to invisible people, hitting the walls and crying non-stop. After that, everything became confused. People in white coats took her mother away, and Lily was left alone. First, she tried to stay in the apartment, eating old crackers and drinking tap water. But when the food ran out and the electricity was cut off, she had no choice but to go out into the street. "Come on, you disgusting thing. Lick it again," insisted Jake, bringing his phone closer to the girl's face. Lily held back her tears. She had learned that crying only made things worse. Adults were annoyed by her tears, and the children enjoyed it even more. She reached out towards the cake, but Ashley pulled it away. "Shoe first, then cake," said the teenager with a malicious smile. Across the street, Mr. Thompson watched the scene with a knot growing in his stomach. The 52-year-old businessman had stopped his car to buy cigarettes when he noticed the group of young people surrounding something. When he got closer to the storefront of his furniture store, Thompson and Sons, he could clearly see what was happening. Mr. Thompson was a tall man, with well-groomed grey hair and always dressed in expensive clothes. Owner of a chain of furniture stores that stretched across several towns in the region, he had built his fortune with hard work and determination. But in the last 5 years, since he lost his wife Bethany in a car accident, his life had been reduced to work and more work. Bethany had been everything to him. Married for 15 years, they had tried to have children for a long time, but never succeeded. She always said that one day they would find a way to start a family, but fate decided otherwise. Since her departure, Mr. Thompson had become a bitter man, focused only on expanding his business to fill the void he felt in his chest. "Aren't you going to eat it, huh?" provoked Jake, dangling the cake in front of Lily's face. "Then you'll just stay hungry." It was at that moment that something inside Mr. Thompson snapped. Without thinking of the consequences, he crossed the street quickly, pushing the bakery door open forcefully. "What the hell are you doing?" His voice cut through the air like a whip, causing all the teenagers to turn around in fright. Mr. Thompson was known in the city. His stores employed dozens of people, and his economic influence was respected by all. The young people immediately recognized the businessman and began to back away. "We were just playing, Mr. Thompson," mumbled Jake, hiding his phone hastily. "Playing? You call this playing?" Mr. Thompson approached the group, his imposing presence making them retreat even further. "Humiliating a starving child is fun for you. She wanted to. We just offered her the cake," tried to defend Ashley, but her voice trembled. "Get out of here, now!" ordered Mr. Thompson, and the teenagers quickly dispersed, some still trying to save the videos they had recorded. When they were finally alone, Mr. Thompson knelt in front of Lily. The girl watched him with big, frightened eyes, like an injured animal that doesn't know whether to trust the stranger in front of her. "Hi, little one," he said, trying to soften his voice. "What's your name?" "Lily," she whispered, her voice hoarse with thirst. "Lily is a pretty name." Mr. Thompson smiled, noticing how thin and dirty the girl was. "Are you hungry?" She nodded timidly. "When was the last time you ate something real?" Lily thought for a moment. "Yesterday. No, the day before yesterday. A lady gave me a sandwich." Mr. Thompson's heart clenched. "And where are your parents?" "My mom went away with the people in white coats. My dad—" She paused, confused. "I don't know where he is." Mr. Thompson stood up, extending his hand to the girl. "Come with me. I'll get you some real food." Lily hesitated for a moment, but hunger spoke louder. She took the man's rough hand, and the two walked together down the main street of Harmony Creek. Connie's diner was 2 blocks from the bakery. It was a simple place, but it served the best home-style cooking in town. Mr. Thompson was a regular customer, and the owner, a 60-year-old lady, greeted him with familiarity. "Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson. Table for one today?" "For two, Connie," he replied, guiding Lily to a table in the back of the diner. The lady observed the girl with curiosity, but did not ask questions. Mr. Thompson ordered a full-plate lunch for Lily and just a coffee for himself. When the food arrived, Mr. Thompson watched, fascinated and moved, as Lily ate. She devoured each forkful as if it were the last meal of her life, but even so, she maintained a certain delicacy, as if she had been taught to have good manners. "Slow down, little one," he said gently. "The food won't run out." Lily stopped eating and looked at him with shining eyes. "Thank you," she said, and at that moment, something inside Mr. Thompson's hardened chest began to melt. "Lily, where have you been sleeping?" "In the park under the slide," she replied naturally, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. "And isn't anyone looking for you? No relatives, no acquaintances of your mother?" She shook her head. "Mom always said we didn't have anyone, just me and her." Mr. Thompson was silent, watching that child who seemed to have gone through more suffering in her 4 years of life than many adults. There was something special about her, an intelligence in her eyes that didn't match her age. "Can I make a drawing?" asked Lily suddenly, pointing to the paper napkin. "Sure." Mr. Thompson took a pen from his pocket and handed it to her. What happened next left him speechless. Lily began to draw with impressive precision, creating a detailed female face with firm and proportional lines. It wasn't a typical children's drawing, but something much more sophisticated. "Who is this woman?" asked Mr. Thompson, intrigued. "Pretty Aunt Carol," replied Lily, continuing to add details to the drawing. "She took care of me before she left." "And where is this pretty Aunt Carol now?" Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know. She said she would come back, but she didn't." Mr. Thompson felt that there was something deeper in that story, something that the girl wasn't telling or maybe didn't know how to tell. He looked at the drawing more carefully, and a strange feeling washed over him. There was something familiar about that face, but he couldn't identify what. "Lily, would you like to come to my house tonight? There's a warm bed and you can take a bath." The girl looked at him suspiciously. "You won't hurt me?" The question broke Mr. Thompson's heart. "Never. I just want to help you." "And tomorrow I can leave if I want?" "Of course you can." Lily nodded slowly. "Okay." When they left the diner, Mr. Thompson had no idea that that impulsive decision would completely change his life. Nor could he imagine that the secrets buried in the past of that extraordinary girl would soon come to light, bringing revelations that would connect destinies in a way that neither he nor Lily could have foreseen. As they walked down the main street of Harmony Creek, Lily held Mr. Thompson's hand tightly, and for the first time in months she felt something she had forgotten existed. Hope. Mr. Thompson's mansion was in the most upscale neighborhood of Harmony Creek, an imposing two-story building surrounded by well-kept gardens. When the automatic gate opened, Lily squeezed the businessman's hand tighter, impressed by the size of the house. "Is this where you live?" she asked, looking at the large windows and the immense backyard. "It is," replied Mr. Thompson, watching how the girl's eyes shone with admiration. "Looks big, doesn't it?" Lily nodded, walking slowly through the marble entrance. Everything there seemed expensive and fragile, very different from the small apartment where she lived with her mother. She was afraid to touch something and break it. "You don't have to be afraid," said Mr. Thompson, noticing the girl's discomfort. "This house has been too empty for too long. It needs someone to bring it to life." He led her to the kitchen, a large room with granite countertops and modern appliances. Lily had never seen such a big kitchen. In the house where she lived with Isabella, they only had a small stove and an old refrigerator that was always broken. "You must be thirsty," said Mr. Thompson, taking a glass and filling it with ice water. Lily drank it all at once, as if she had spent days in the desert. "Can I drink more?" "Of course you can. You can drink as many glasses as you want." As she drank the second glass, Mr. Thompson watched her movements. There was something in the way she behaved that didn't fit with an ordinary street child. Her gestures were delicate. She thanked him for everything, and there was a natural politeness that suggested that someone had taken good care of her at some point. "Lily, I'm going to prepare a bath for you, okay? Then we can talk more." "I can take a bath by myself," she said quickly, as if she didn't want to be a burden. "I know you can. I'm just going to prepare the bathtub and leave clean towels." Mr. Thompson went up to the second floor, entering the room that had been prepared to be a children's room years ago. He and Bethany had decorated that space with so much care, choosing every detail, thinking about the child who never arrived. After the accident, he locked the door and never went in there again. Now, looking at the small bed covered by a white sheet, he felt his heart race. Would it be right to bring an unknown child to that place so full of memories? "Where's the bathroom?" Lily's voice pulled him out of his thoughts. "Right here." He showed her the ensuite bathroom, starting to fill the bathtub with warm water. "There's shampoo, soap, everything you need." Lily watched the bathtub filling with clean, warm water. It had been so long since she had taken a real bath. In recent months she washed herself when she could, using the tap in the square or rainwater. "I'm going to leave a clean shirt here on the bed," said Mr. Thompson, taking an old T-shirt that would be too big for her, but at least it was clean. When Lily finally came out of the bathroom, transformed by the bath, Mr. Thompson barely recognized her. Her brown hair, now clean, fell in soft waves to her shoulders. Her skin, free of dirt, revealed a delicate face with rosy cheekbones. She looked like a completely different child. "Are you feeling better?" he asked. "Much better," she smiled, and it was the first time Mr. Thompson had seen a genuine smile on her face. "Do you want to have some dinner? Can I eat again?" The simple question broke Mr. Thompson's heart. "Lily, here you can eat whenever you're hungry. You don't have to ask permission." They went down to the kitchen and Mr. Thompson prepared a simple ham and cheese sandwich. Lily ate slowly this time, savoring each bite. "Can I ask you a question?" said Mr. Thompson, sitting down in front of her. "You can. What happened to your mother? Why did the people in white coats take her away?" Lily stopped eating and became thoughtful. "Mum started acting strange. She talked to herself, shouted at people who didn't exist. One night she broke all the dishes in the kitchen and said the neighbors were trying to poison us. And then the owner of the apartment called some men. They said Mom was sick and needed help. She didn't want to go, but they said that if she didn't go, they would take me too." Mr. Thompson felt his heart tighten hearing that story. "And she chose to go so they wouldn't take you?" "Yes. She hugged me and said she would be back soon, that it was only until she got better." Lily paused, her eyes filling with tears. But it's been a long time, and she hasn't come back. And pretty Aunt Carol that you drew, when did you meet her?" Lily's face lit up. "She showed up when I was hungriest. I was in the park and she saw me crying. She was very pretty, had long hair and smiled a lot. She took me to a place where there were other children and gave me food." "What place was that?" "It was a big house, but not like yours. It had lots of beds and toys. Pretty Aunt Carol said I could stay there until Mom came back." "And why did you leave there?" Lily's expression changed, becoming sad and confused. "I don't remember very well. One day I woke up and she wasn't there anymore. The other people said she had left and that I had to go too." Mr. Thompson frowned. That story didn't make sense. Why would someone who was taking care of Lily simply disappear? "Do you remember her name?" "She told me to call her Aunt Bethany." The name hit Mr. Thompson like lightning. Bethany had always been called Beth by close friends. But that was impossible. Bethany had died 5 years ago, and Lily was too young at the time to remember her. "Aunt Bethany," he repeated, trying to keep his voice calm. "Did she tell you anything else?" "She said I was a very special girl, that I had a gift. She liked my drawings and always asked me to do more." "What kind of gift?" Lily shrugged. "I don't know. She said I could see things that other people couldn't see." Mr. Thompson decided to change the subject. It was too much of a coincidence, but probably Lily was confusing people or creating memories. "It's getting late. How about we sleep? We'll talk more tomorrow." "Can I sleep in your bed?" she asked, afraid of being alone. "Of course you can." They went up to the master bedroom, and Mr. Thompson made a side of the king-size bed for Lily. She lay down, looking tiny in that huge bed, hugging a pillow. "Mr. Thompson," she said in the dark. "Yes? You're a good person. Aunt Bethany said I was going to find good people." Mr. Thompson felt a chill down his spine. "She really said that?" "Yes. She said that when I really, really needed it, a good person would help me. And you really need it now." "I needed it. Today, when those boys were being mean to me, I thought of Aunt Bethany and asked her to help me. Then you showed up." Mr. Thompson was silent, processing that information. It had to be just coincidence, but there was something disturbing about the way Lily talked about this mysterious woman. "Sleep now, little one. Tomorrow will be a better day. Can I stay here tomorrow too? You can stay as long as you want." Lily fell asleep quickly, exhausted by the emotions of the day. Mr. Thompson stayed awake for hours, watching her sleep. There was something about that child that touched him in a way he couldn't explain. Around 2 in the morning, Lily started talking in her sleep. "Mr." Thompson went closer to hear better and almost had a heart attack when he heard what she was saying. "Aunt Bethany, don't go away. Please, don't leave me. You promised you'd take care of me." The words came out in a tone of despair that broke the heart. Mr. Thompson gently shook her to wake her up. "Lily, it's okay. It was just a nightmare." She opened her eyes, still half asleep. "Aunt Bethany was here. She said you were going to take care of me now." "She said that?" "Yes. She's happy that you found me." Mr. Thompson felt a pit in his stomach. This was getting too strange. "Go back to sleep, little one. Everything's okay." When Lily fell asleep again, Mr. Thompson went downstairs to the living room and took out a photo album that he kept in a drawer. He flipped through it until he found a picture of Bethany smiling in the garden, with her long hair loose and wearing a white dress. He went back up to the bedroom and watched Lily sleeping. The next morning, he would show her the photo. He needed to know if there was any real connection or if it was just his imagination playing tricks on him. What Mr. Thompson didn't know was that this discovery would be just the beginning of a series of revelations that would completely change his understanding about fate, about his late wife, and about the real reason why Lily had appeared in his life. The morning sun streamed through the bedroom window when Mr. Thompson woke up with Lily already standing, watching the pictures hanging on the wall. She was standing in front of a framed photograph of Bethany with an expression of recognition that made his heart race. "That's Aunt Bethany," she said simply, pointing to the photo. Mr. Thompson sat up in bed, trying to process what he had just heard. "Lily, are you sure?" "I am. She's younger in the picture, but it's her. Look at the way she smiles." Lily gently touched the glass of the frame. "Why do you have a picture of her?" "Because she was my wife," replied Mr. Thompson, feeling his legs tremble. Lily turned to him, confused. "But she took care of me at the kids' place. She wasn't married." "She passed away 5 years ago, Lily, in a car accident." The girl frowned, processing the information. "Passed away to where?" Mr. Thompson swallowed hard. How to explain concepts about life and death to a 4-year-old? She's not here with us anymore. She can't take care of anyone anymore." "But she took care of me," insisted Lily. "She gave me food, told me stories, taught me how to draw better." "When did this happen, little one?" "I don't know. A while ago, before I was on the street alone." Mr. Thompson got up and took the photo album. "Show me which of these photos is the Aunt Bethany you knew." Lily flipped through the album carefully, stopping at several photos of Bethany. "This one." She pointed to a specific photo where Bethany had her hair down, smiling. "She looked like this when she took care of me." It was a photo taken just 2 months before the accident. Mr. Thompson remembered the day perfectly. They had gone to the park, and Bethany had commented on how she would like to work with needy children. "Lily, I need to take you somewhere today," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "We're going to talk to someone who can help us understand what's going on." "Am I in trouble?" "No, you're not. We just want to help you." After breakfast, Mr. Thompson called Dr. Evans, a child psychologist he had met through company charity events. She agreed to see them urgently. Dr. Evans' office was in downtown Harmony Creek, in an old house converted into a clinic. Dr. Evans was a 35-year-old woman with curly hair and kind eyes that immediately put children at ease. "So you're Lily," she said, squatting down to get to the girl's height. "Mr. Thompson told me you're a very talented artist." "I like to draw," replied Lily timidly. "Great! We have lots of drawing materials here. Want to see?" While Dr. Evans showed Lily the colored pencils and papers, Mr. Thompson quickly explained the situation. Finding the girl on the street, taking her home, and especially the confusion about the identity of the mysterious Aunt Bethany. "It's possible it's a defense mechanism," whispered Dr. Evans to Mr. Thompson. "Traumatized children sometimes create memories or protective figures to deal with abandonment. But she recognized my wife's photo. Specific details. She may have seen the photo somewhere before." "You said your wife did volunteer work?" "Yes, but never mentioned anything about a shelter or taking care of children specifically." Dr. Evans observed Lily, who had already started drawing. "Let's talk to her. Lily, can you tell me about the drawings you do?" "I draw people, animals, houses," replied the girl, focused on the paper. "And Aunt Bethany, did she like your drawings?" "She liked them a lot. She said I had a special gift." "What kind of gift?" Lily stopped drawing and looked at Dr. Evans. "I can draw people I've never seen." "What do you mean?" "Sometimes I dream about people, and when I wake up I can draw them perfectly." Aunt Bethany said it was because I could see beyond. Dr. Evans exchanged a worried look with Mr. Thompson. "Lily, can you draw those people for me?" "I can." Lily took a new sheet of paper and began to draw with firm and precise lines. In a few minutes, she had created the portrait of a young woman with curly hair and sad eyes. "Who is this person?" asked Dr. Evans. "I don't know her name, but she's very sad. She lost something very important." Mr. Thompson watched, fascinated. The drawing was impressive for a 4-year-old child. The lines were proportional, the facial details precise. "Lily, did you draw more people like that for Aunt Bethany?" "I did. She got very emotional when I showed her. Sometimes she cried." "Why did she cry?" "I don't know, but they were good tears, not bad ones." Dr. Evans made some notes. "Mr. Thompson, can I talk to you for a moment?" They left the room, leaving Lily drawing. "This is very unusual," said Dr. Evans. "The accuracy of her drawings, the way she describes this figure of Aunt Bethany. It may be that she has some kind of special ability, or it may be a very elaborate trauma mechanism. But she recognized my wife in the photo. It's possible that your wife really met her at some point. You said Bethany did volunteer work." "Yes, but never specifically with children. She helped with fundraising campaigns, charity events. Maybe there was something she didn't tell you. Sometimes people do extra volunteer work without mentioning it to the family." Mr. Thompson thought for a moment. In the last months before the accident, Bethany had gone out some afternoons, saying she was going shopping or visiting friends. He had always been too busy with work to ask details. "I'll investigate," he said. "I need to know if there's really a connection. Meanwhile, I'd like to continue talking to Lily. Can she stay with me today? I want to better understand this trauma and these memories she carries." Of course. When they returned to the room, Lily had drawn 3 different people, all women, all with melancholic expressions. "These people are all sad," observed Dr. Evans. "Yes. They lost children," said Lily naturally. "How do you know that?" "I see it on their faces. When I draw, I feel what they feel." Mr. Thompson said goodbye to Lily, promising to pick her up at the end of the afternoon. He had a mission: to find out if Bethany had really met Lily, and if so, how was that possible? His first stop was the company office. There, he looked in Bethany's personal files, diaries, receipts, anything that could give clues about her activities in the last months of her life. It was in the diary from 5 years ago that he found the first clue, several notes about Project Hope and addresses he didn't recognize. The second stop was the house of Carol, Bethany's best friend. If anyone knew about secret volunteer work, it would be her. "Mr. Thompson, what a surprise," said Carol, opening the door. "It's been so long since I've seen you." "Carol, I need to ask you something about Bethany. Did she do any volunteer work that I didn't know about?" Carol's expression changed. "Why do you want to know that now?" "It's important. Please." Carol invited him in and sighed. "She made me promise not to tell you. She said you already had too many worries with work." "Tell what?" "Bethany was helping to take care of children at risk. There was an improvised shelter that an NGO maintained in the back of St. Joseph's Church. She went there 3 times a week." Mr. Thompson's heart pounded. "What kind of children?" "Children who had been abandoned, who were waiting for vacancies in official shelters, children of people who were hospitalized. Complicated cases. And she never mentioned a specific girl, a very intelligent child who drew well." Carol frowned. "She talked about a special girl, yes. Said she had a gift, that she could draw impressive things. Bethany was trying to get an adoptive family for her. What happened to that girl?" "I don't know. When she passed away, the shelter closed. The children were redistributed to other places." Mr. Thompson left Carol's house with his heart racing. Everything was beginning to make sense. Bethany had really met Lily, had taken care of her, become attached to her, and was probably planning something when the accident happened. When he went back to pick up Lily at the office, Dr. Evans had news. "Mr. Thompson, I talked to her a lot today. Her memories about Aunt Bethany are very specific and consistent. They don't seem to be fantasies. I found out that my wife really worked with children at risk. It's possible that she met Lily. That would explain a lot, but there's something else you need to know." "What?" "Lily told me that Aunt Bethany had promised to find a special family for her, a family that would love her forever." Mr. Thompson felt a chill down his spine. "She said that?" "She did. And more. She drew the house where that family would live. Mr. Thompson, she drew your house, perfectly, including details she couldn't possibly know." When Dr. Evans showed the drawing, Mr. Thompson almost fainted. There was his mansion with all the correct details, the shape of the windows, the garden, even the color of the gate. "How is this possible?" he murmured. "I don't know," replied Dr. Evans. "But one thing is certain. Lily didn't come into your life by chance." The next morning, Mr. Thompson was awakened by a persistent knock on the door. Lily was still sleeping soundly beside him, hugging the pillow as if it were a treasure. He hurried downstairs, finding a middle-aged woman on the doorstep, wearing simple clothes and carrying a folder of documents. "Mr. Thompson?" she asked, with an official tone that immediately alerted him. "Yes, that's me. My name is Mrs. Davis. I'm a social worker from the county. I need to talk to you about a child who is in your care." Mr. Thompson's stomach tightened. "Please, come in." Mrs. Davis was a 42-year-old woman, with short hair and piercing eyes that seemed to evaluate every detail of the luxurious house. Mr. Thompson led her to the living room, offering coffee, which she refused. "Mr. Thompson, it has come to our attention that you are sheltering a minor without the proper legal procedures," she began, taking a form from the folder. "Lily, 4 years old, homeless for approximately 3 months. How did you find out?" "We received an anonymous tip. Someone saw you with the child and found it suspicious." Mrs. Davis paused. "I understand your good intentions, but there is a protocol to be followed. The girl should have been handed over to Child Protective Services immediately." Mr. Thompson felt his blood run cold. "And now? Now I need to assess the situation. Where is the child?" "Sleeping upstairs. May I see her?" "Of course." They went silently up to the room. Lily was curled up in the big bed, breathing softly. Even asleep, her face maintained an expression of alert, as if she was always prepared to run. "She looks well cared for," observed Mrs. Davis in a low voice. "I found her being humiliated by a group of teenagers. I couldn't just walk away and leave her." "I understand. But you know that you can't just decide to take care of a child without going through the appropriate channels." "I know. But if I wanted to adopt her?" Mrs. Davis looked at him in surprise. "Adoption is a long and complex process, Mr. Thompson. First, we need to find the child's biological parents. What if the mother is in a psychiatric hospital?" "How do you know that?" "Lily told me. Said her mother was taken away by people in white coats a few months ago." Mrs. Davis made notes. "I'll investigate. In the meantime, I need to decide whether the child can stay temporarily with you or if she should be transferred to a shelter. Please, don't take her away from me. She's already suffered too much. I'll evaluate the conditions. I need to talk to the girl too." When they went downstairs, Lily was in the kitchen, still in her pajamas, drinking a glass of milk. Upon seeing the stranger, she hid behind Mr. Thompson. "Hi, Lily," said Mrs. Davis in a gentle voice. "My name is Mrs. Davis. I'm a social worker. I make sure children like you are safe." "I'm safe here," replied Lily, clinging to Mr. Thompson's shirt. "I know you are. I just need to ask you a few questions, okay?" Lily nodded reluctantly. "Can you tell me about your mother?" "Mom got sick in her head. She talked to people who didn't exist and cried a lot. Then some men came and took her away." "And you were left alone?" "I was. First I stayed in the apartment, but then the food ran out and they cut off the lights. Then I went out to look for food." "And how did you meet Mr. Thompson?" "Some bad boys were doing bad things to me. He showed up and saved me." Mrs. Davis continued asking questions about Lily's routine with Mr. Thompson, about how she felt, if she was afraid of him. All the answers were positive, but Mr. Thompson noticed that the social worker seemed to be looking for something specific. "Mr. Thompson, can I talk to you in private?" asked Mrs. Davis after finishing talking to Lily. They went to the office, leaving Lily drawing on the kitchen table. "I'm going to be direct with you," said Mrs. Davis, closing the door. "I did some background checks on you before I came here." "What kind of checks?" "You were accused of harassment by a former employee 4 years ago. The case was dismissed with a financial settlement." Mr. Thompson felt his face burn. "That was a misunderstanding. The woman was trying to blackmail me." "It may have been, But you understand that this raises questions about your motivations for taking care of a vulnerable child. My motivations are pure. I want to help Lily. Why? You didn't know her before. Why get so attached to a strange child so quickly? Mr. Thompson hesitated. How to explain about Bethany, about the supernatural connection that seemed to exist? She reminds me of my late wife. We have a connection. What kind of connection? It's hard to explain, but I feel like I have to take care of her, like it's my destiny. Mrs. Davis made more notes. I'm going to allow her to stay temporarily with you, but with conditions. You need to register as an emergency foster family, and I'll make regular visits. Any sign that the child is not doing well, and she will be removed immediately. I understand. Thank you. And, Mr. Thompson, if I find out that your intentions are not pure, I myself will make sure that you face the consequences. After Mrs. Davis left, Mr. Thompson found Lily crying in the kitchen. Is she going to take me away? Asked the girl between sobs. No, little one, you're going to stay here with me. Promise. I promise. But Mr. Thompson knew that the promise could be difficult to keep. Mrs. Davis had made it clear that anything suspicious would result in Lily's removal. That afternoon, they went to Dr. Evans' office for the second session. The psychologist had prepared more drawing materials and some therapeutic games. How did you feel about the social worker's visit? Asked Dr. Evans. Scared, replied Lily. She seemed like she wanted to take me away from Mr. Thompson. And you don't want to go away? No, I like Mr. Thompson. He's good to me. What else do you like about him? He doesn't yell, doesn't hit me, gives me food whenever I ask, and he has sad eyes, just like mine. Sad eyes. He lost someone he loved very much, just like I lost Mom. Dr. Evans observed Mr. Thompson, who was surprised by the girl's perception. Lily, do you remember anything else about Aunt Bethany? I remember she talked about a man she loved very much. She said he was very lonely and sad. Did she say his name? She said his name was Mr. Thompson. The silence that followed was deafening. Dr. Evans and Mr. Thompson looked at each other, not knowing what to think. Are you sure about that? Asked Dr. Evans. I am. She always talked about him. She said that one day he would find a way not to be alone anymore. And she said anything else about him. She said that he was going to take care of me when she couldn't anymore, that he was going to give me a real family. Mr. Thompson felt his legs tremble. Lily, when did Aunt Bethany say that? The last time I saw her. She was crying and said she had to go away, but that Mr. Thompson was going to find me. Do you remember when that happened? It was when the men came to get her. They said she couldn't take care of the children anymore. What men? Men in suits, just like you. They said Aunt Bethany had done something bad and couldn't work with children anymore. Mr. Thompson and Dr. Evans exchanged alarmed looks. This didn't make sense. Bethany had died in an accident, had not been taken by men in suits. Lily, can you draw those men? Asked Dr. Evans. I can. Lily took the pencil and began to draw. In a few minutes, she had created 2 portraits of middle-aged men, well-dressed, with serious expressions. Did they say anything else? Asked Mr. Thompson. They said that Aunt Bethany had told secrets she couldn't tell, that she was going to be punished. Punished how? I don't know. But she was very scared. She hugged me and said I was the most important thing that had happened in her life. Mr. Thompson felt a chill. That story was getting weirder and weirder. If Bethany had really been taken by men before the accident, that meant that her death might not have been accidental. Dr. Evans, I need to investigate this more deeply, he said after the session. Mr. Thompson, this could be dangerous. If there really was something suspicious about your wife's death, I need to know the truth, for Bethany and for Lily. Then be careful, and don't leave Lily alone. If anyone finds out she knows something, I'll protect her, I promise. But when they got home that night, Mr. Thompson found signs that someone had been there. Small details out of place, drawers slightly open, papers rearranged. "Lily, go to the bedroom and lock the door," he said, checking all the windows. "Why? What's happening?" "Just a precaution. I'm going to call the police." But when he went to get the phone, he found a note on the paper. "Stop asking questions, or the girl will have the same fate as your wife." Mr. Thompson felt his blood run cold. Now he was sure Bethany had not died in an accident, and someone wanted Lily to never reveal what she knew. Mr. Thompson couldn't sleep that night. He stayed awake, watching every shadow, every noise, with Lily sleeping beside him, completely unaware of the danger that surrounded them. In the morning, he made a decision that would change everything. He would investigate the truth about Bethany's death, no matter the cost. His first stop was the local newspaper's archive. He asked to review the news about Bethany's accident, looking for details he might have missed at the time. What he found intrigued him. The accident had happened on the road that led to the rural district, at a time when Bethany would normally be at home. There was no explanation for her being in that location. "Mr. Thompson," a female voice interrupted him. It was Claire, the journalist who had covered the accident at the time. "What a coincidence to find you here." "Claire, it's good to see you. I was reviewing some old articles." "About Bethany's accident?" "I always thought that story was strange." Mr. Thompson's heart raced. "Strange how?" "Well, she was going to a meeting that no one was able to confirm, and there were signs that another car was involved, but the police closed the case very quickly." "Another car?" "Paint marks on the bumper, as if she had been forced off the road. But when I went back the next day to investigate further, they said the car had already been taken to the junkyard." "You think it was?" "I can't prove anything, but 5 years later, it still bothers me." Mr. Thompson left the newspaper with more questions than answers. He decided to look for the junkyard where the car had been taken, but found that the place had closed 3 years ago and the owner had moved out of town. Meanwhile, Lily was at Dr. Evans' office, participating in a therapy session that would reveal crucial information. "Lily, I want you to tell me more about the last day you saw Aunt Bethany," said Dr. Evans, offering colored pencils to the girl. "It was a very sad day," replied Lily, beginning to draw. "She was crying a lot." "Why was she crying?" "Because the bad men said she couldn't take care of the children anymore, that she had seen things she shouldn't have seen." "What kind of things?" "I don't know, but she was very scared. She hugged me and said she had to go away, but that she would always take care of me." "How was she going to take care of you if she was leaving?" "She said she was going to send someone special to find me, someone who was going to love me as if I were his daughter." Dr. Evans stopped taking notes. "She really said that?" "She did. And she said that this someone had the same hurt heart as her, that that's why he would understand my pain." "Did she say how you were going to recognize this person?" "She said I would know in my heart, that when I saw him, I would feel like I was home." "And did you feel that with Mr. Thompson?" "I did. From the first day. He has the same eyes as Aunt Bethany when she was sad." Dr. Evans continued the session but was deeply disturbed. There was something supernatural in the way Lily described the events, as if Bethany had really planned for Mr. Thompson to find the girl. Meanwhile, Mr. Thompson was at the records office looking for information about the shelter where Bethany worked. He discovered that Project Hope had been closed abruptly 5 years ago, shortly after Bethany's death, due to administrative irregularities. "What kind of irregularities?" he asked the clerk. "I can't give details, but they involve children's documentation. It seems that some children were placed in families without going through the proper legal processes. And what happened to the children who were there? They were redistributed to other shelters, but some simply disappeared from the records." Mr. Thompson felt a chill. "Disappeared how?" "It's as if they never existed. No documents, no history, no family looking. Do you know who was responsible for investigating these irregularities? Mr. Grant from the district attorney's office, but he retired soon after and moved to another state. Mr. Thompson wrote down the name. He was beginning to form a disturbing picture. Bethany had discovered something about the shelter, something that cost her life. And now someone wanted to prevent Lily from revealing what she knew. When he went back to pick up Lily at the office, he found Dr. Evans visibly shaken. "Mr. Thompson, I need to tell you something that Lily revealed to me," she said, moving away so that the girl wouldn't hear. "What is it?" "She told me that Aunt Bethany talked about children who disappeared from the shelter, children who were taken by rich people but not through legal adoption. Child trafficking. It seems so, and Bethany had discovered that. That's why they killed her. Mr. Thompson, you need to be very careful. If these people find out that Lily still remembers details, I'll protect her, but I can't stop investigating. Then take her far away from here, at least until you find out who's behind this." That afternoon, Mr. Thompson made a drastic decision. He packed a small suitcase with clothes for him and Lily and drove to the family's country house, located in a neighboring town. "We're going on a trip, little one," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "Is it because of the bad men?" asked Lily. "What bad men?" "The ones who were watching our house yesterday. I saw them through the keyhole." Mr. Thompson's blood ran cold. What did they look like? Just like the ones who took Aunt Bethany, in dark suits and serious faces. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" "I thought you had seen them too." Mr. Thompson realized that he had underestimated the danger. If Lily had seen the men watching the house, that meant they had been watched for longer than he imagined. The country house was 2 hours away, in the middle of an isolated rural property. It was a place that Mr. Thompson and Bethany used to use for romantic weekends, but that had been abandoned for years. "Is this where we're going to stay?" asked Lily, watching the simple wooden house. "For now, until things calm down in the city. I like it here. There are lots of birds." Mr. Thompson arranged 2 rooms, turned on the electricity and bought supplies in the nearby town. For a few days they lived in relative peace, with Lily drawing and playing in the yard, while Mr. Thompson continued his investigations by phone. It was during one of these calls that he discovered an important clue. He got the contact of Mr. Grant, the retired prosecutor who had investigated the shelter. "Mr. Grant, my name is Mr. Thompson. I need to talk to you about the Project Hope case." "I have nothing to say about that," replied the man, his voice tense. "My wife, Bethany, died because of that case. I need to know the truth." "Your wife, Bethany Thompson?" "Yes." There was a long silence. "She was a brave woman. She brought evidence that could have brought down an entire network." "What evidence?" "Documents showing how vulnerable children were sold to wealthy families. It had names, values, dates, all very well organized. And what happened to that evidence? It disappeared, along with several witnesses. Your wife was the last to insist on the case." "Mr. Grant, is there still danger?" "There's always danger when you mess with these kinds of people. They have political connections, money, power. They stop at nothing." "What if I get new evidence?" "Do you have evidence?" "Maybe. I'm taking care of a child who might have important information." "Then get that child out of there. Immediately. These people don't hesitate to eliminate witnesses, regardless of age." The call ended, leaving Mr. Thompson even more frightened. He looked out the window and saw Lily playing in the yard, completely oblivious to the dangers surrounding her. It was then that he noticed something that chilled him to the bone. A black car was parked on the dirt road leading to the property. There was no legitimate reason for anyone to be there. "Lily, come inside." "Now," he yelled, trying not to show panic. "Why?" "Just come in, quick." When she entered, Mr. Thompson locked all the doors and windows. He picked up his cell phone to call the police, but discovered there was no signal. "Mr. Thompson, I'm scared," said Lily, noticing the tension. "It's okay, honey, we're just going to stay inside for a while." But through the window, Mr. Thompson could see that the car had moved closer. Two men in suits got out, exactly as Lily had described. They walked toward the house with determined movements. "Lily, there's a closet in the back bedroom. I want you to hide in there and don't come out for anything, you hear? What about you? I'm going to stay here. No matter what happens, don't leave the closet." Mr. Thompson led her to the bedroom, helped her hide, and returned to the living room. He grabbed an old shotgun that his father had left in the house and positioned himself behind the door. The men knocked on the door forcefully. "We know you're in there. Make it easy on yourself and open the door." Mr. Thompson didn't answer. His heart was beating so hard he was sure it could be heard outside. "All we want is the girl. Hand her over, and you can walk away." "Never," Mr. Thompson muttered under his breath. It was then that he heard the sound of glass breaking. They were breaking into the house. The sound of footsteps slowly approached the living room door. Mr. Thompson held the shotgun with trembling hands, knowing he had never fired a gun in his life. His breathing was erratic, and drops of sweat ran down his forehead. "Mr. Thompson," said a deep voice from the other side of the door, "we don't want to hurt you. We just want the girl." "She's not here," Mr. Thompson lied, trying to keep his voice steady. "We know she is. Our colleague followed you here. We're coming in anyway, so you better make it easy." Mr. Thompson quickly looked around, searching for an escape. The house only had a back door, but to get there, he would have to go through the kitchen, where there was probably another intruder. Suddenly the door burst open. Two men entered, and Mr. Thompson recognized the faces from Lily's drawings. They were the same ones who had taken Bethany from the shelter. "Drop the gun," ordered the first man, a tall, thin fellow with a scar on his face. "I'm not handing over the girl," Mr. Thompson replied, pointing the shotgun at them. "You don't understand the gravity of the situation," said the second man, shorter and stockier. "This child knows things that can destroy very important people." "What things?" "She witnessed child transfers, heard conversations, saw documents. Your wife was using the girl as a witness. Bethany would never harm a child. She didn't want to cause harm, but her conscience blinded her. She collected evidence for months, using the children at the shelter as informants." Mr. Thompson felt a knot in his stomach. "And you killed her for it. She chose the wrong side. She could have been rich, ignored what she saw, but she preferred to play the heroine. What important people are involved? Judges, politicians, businessmen, people who can end your life with a phone call. And why do you want Lily? She's just a child with a photographic memory who remembers every face, every name she heard. She's a ticking time bomb." At that moment, Mr. Thompson heard a noise coming from the back bedroom. His heart leaped. Lily was moving in the closet. "Looks like we found her," smiled the scarred man, starting to walk toward the hallway. "No!" shouted Mr. Thompson, blocking the way. "Get out of the way, or you'll be joining your wife sooner than you planned." It was then that Mr. Thompson made the bravest decision of his life. He fired the shotgun into the air, causing both men to throw themselves to the ground. He took advantage of the confusion to run toward the bedroom. "Lily, let's go," he shouted, opening the closet. The girl was huddled, trembling with fear. "They came to get me, didn't they? They're not going to take you, I promise." Mr. Thompson picked her up and ran to the back door. He managed to get out of the house before the men recovered, but he knew they didn't have much time. "Where are we going?" asked Lily, clinging to his neck. "To the woods. I know a place where we can hide." They ran across the rural property, hearing shouts and footsteps behind them. Mr. Thompson had known that land since he was a child. There was a natural cave in the mountains where he used to play. "Mr. Thompson, I'm tired," said Lily after 20 minutes of running. "Just a little further, honey. We're almost there." The cave was small, but it offered protection. Mr. Thompson helped Lily inside and positioned himself at the entrance, still holding the shotgun. "Are they going to find us?" she asked, panting. I don't know, but we're going to stay here until it gets dark. Mr. Thompson, I need to tell you something. What is it? I remember more things about what happened at the shelter. Things that Bethany told me to promise I would never tell. What things? There was a secret room at the shelter. Bethany showed it to me once. It had lots of papers and pictures of children. Pictures like? Pictures of children who left, but not for good families. Bethany cried when she showed me. And what else did you see? I saw men giving money to the director of the shelter. Lots of money. And I heard them talking about orders. Orders. They talked about what kind of child people wanted. Boy, girl, hair color, age. Like they were buying an animal. Mr. Thompson felt nauseous. Why didn't Bethany get you out of there immediately? She tried, but when she went to talk to the police, they said she was lying, that she had no proof. So she decided to collect evidence. Yes, she taught me to draw the people I saw, to remember the names I heard. She said that one day it would be important. And do you remember the names? I remember some. Dr. Silvera, who was a judge, Mr. Carvalho, who had a big company, and Mrs. Margarida, who was very rich and always wanted little girls. Mr. Thompson made mental notes. Those names could be the key to unmasking the network. Lily, did you keep any drawings from that time? I kept some. They're hidden in a doll that Bethany gave me. Where is that doll? I left it at my mom's apartment when I left. It's under the bed. Mr. Thompson realized they would need to return to the city to recover that evidence. But first, they had to survive that night. When it got dark, they carefully descended the mountain. Mr. Thompson hoped the men had given up the search, but he knew it was unlikely. We're going to the city, he said. We need to get your drawings and give them to someone who can help us. Who? To the social worker, Mrs. Davis. She's annoying, but she's honest. They walked along the rural road until they found a farm where Mr. Thompson managed to ask for help. The farmer, an elderly man named John, agreed to take them to the city. What are you running from? Asked John on the way. Very dangerous people, replied Mr. Thompson. People who want to hurt the girl. I understand. My granddaughter is her age. I couldn't bear to see something happening to a child. When they arrived in Harmony Creek, it was already dawn. Mr. Thompson asked John to leave them on a street near the apartment where Lily lived with her mother. Are you sure it's safe? Asked the farmer. No, but we have no choice. The building was old and poorly maintained. Mr. Thompson managed to enter through the back door, which was always open. They climbed silently to the third floor. It's here, whispered Lily, pointing to a door with peeling paint. Mr. Thompson forced the lock with a pocket knife. The apartment was dark and smelled of mildew. Furniture covered in dust showed that no one had lived there for months. Where's the doll? He asked. In my mom's room. They entered the small, messy room. Lily crouched under the bed and pulled out an old but well-cared-for rag doll. It's all here, she said, opening a zipper on the doll's back. From inside came dozens of folded drawings and a small notebook. Mr. Thompson quickly leafed through it and was impressed. Lily had systematically documented faces, names, dates, conversations. This is incredible, honey. You may have saved many children. Bethany said that one day it would be important, and she was right. At that moment, they heard footsteps in the hallway. Mr. Thompson turned off the light and positioned himself behind the door. They're here, whispered a male voice. Are you sure? The doorman said he saw a man and a child entering. Mr. Thompson picked up Lily and went to the window. There was a fire escape that led to the roof. Let's go up, he whispered. They climbed out the window and began to climb the rusty ladder. Mr. Thompson could hear the men breaking down the apartment door. They're not here, shouted one of them. Search every room. They may be hiding. Mr. Thompson and Lily reached the roof. From there they could see the street and plan an escape, but there were men surrounding the building. We're surrounded, murmured Mr. Thompson. Is there another way out? Asked Lily. There is, but it's dangerous. More dangerous than staying here? Mr. Thompson looked at the brave girl who had gone through so much suffering. No. Let's try. They crossed the roof to the neighboring building. It was a 2-meter jump that Mr. Thompson managed to make carrying Lily. Now let's go down the other side, he said. When they reached the street, Mr. Thompson saw that they had escaped the siege. But he knew they didn't have much time before they were discovered again. I need to call Mrs. Davis, he said, looking for a payphone. Hello, Mrs. Davis, this is Mr. Thompson. I need help urgently. Mr. Thompson, what time is it to be calling? Lily is in danger. We have evidence of a child trafficking network. You need to help us. Where are you? I can't talk on the phone. Meet us at St. Joseph's Church in an hour. Mr. Thompson, this is very dangerous. You should go to the police. We can't trust the police. There are people infiltrated. All right, I'll be there. Mr. Thompson hung up and looked at Lily, who was holding the doll with the evidence tightly. We're almost to the end of this, honey, he said. And then we can be together forever? We will. I promise. But as they headed towards the church, Mr. Thompson didn't know that he was walking straight into a trap that would test his determination to protect Lily to the ultimate consequences. St. Joseph's Church was plunged into darkness as Mr. Thompson and Lily approached. The clock tower read 12:15. Mr. Thompson carefully observed the surroundings, looking for suspicious movements, but the streets were deserted. It's too dark, whispered Lily, squeezing the doll against her chest. It's better that way, easier for us to hide. They positioned themselves behind a large tree in the churchyard, from where they could see the main entrance. Mr. Thompson checked his watch. They still had 40 minutes until the time scheduled with Mrs. Davis. Mr. Thompson, I'm scared, said Lily. Me too, honey. But this will be over soon. What if Mrs. Davis doesn't come? She'll come. I know she cares about you. 15 minutes later, a car approached slowly. Mr. Thompson recognized Mrs. Davis's vehicle and prepared to come out of hiding, but something made him hesitate. The car stopped, but Mrs. Davis didn't get out immediately. Why isn't she coming out? Asked Lily. I don't know. Let's wait a little longer. It was then that Mr. Thompson saw another car approaching from the opposite street. 2 men got out. They were the same ones who had broken into the farmhouse. No, murmured Mr. Thompson, realizing they had fallen into a trap. Mrs. Davis finally got out of the car, but she wasn't alone. A man in a suit accompanied her, holding something in his hand that seemed to be a gun. Mrs. Davis was forced to bring us here, whispered Mr. Thompson to Lily. They must have threatened her. What are we going to do? We're getting out of here. Now. But when they turned to flee, they found 2 more men blocking the exit from the back of the church. They were surrounded. Mr. Thompson, shouted a voice. We know you're there. Come out or the social worker will get hurt. Mr. Thompson looked at Lily, who was trembling. He couldn't let Mrs. Davis be hurt because of them, but he couldn't hand over the girl either. Mr. Thompson, I'm sorry, shouted Mrs. Davis. They took my daughter. They said they would only release her if I brought you here. It's not your fault, replied Mr. Thompson. Enough talk, ordered the scarred man. Bring the girl or everyone will get hurt. It was then that Mr. Thompson had a desperate idea. He remembered that the church had a side door that led to the sacristy, and from there was a passage that led to the underground crypt. Lily, can you run very quietly? He whispered. I can. We're going to that little door on the side. When I say now, you run as fast as you can. They crawled silently through the shadow of the trees until they got close to the side door. Mr. Thompson tested the doorknob. It was open. Now! Lily ran like a rabbit, with Mr. Thompson right behind. They managed to enter the church before the men noticed. This way, whispered Mr. Thompson, guiding her through the dark nave to the sacristy. Behind them, they heard shouts and footsteps running. The men had discovered where they had entered. Where's the passage? Asked Lily. Behind the altar, there's a secret door. Mr. Thompson found the mechanism that opened the passage to the crypt. It was a place he had known since he was a child, when he served as an altar boy. Let's go down. Watch the steps." The crypt was cold and damp, illuminated only by the light of Mr. Thompson's cell phone. There were ancient tombs and a smell of mold that made Lily wrinkle her nose. "This is scary," she said. "I know, but it's safe. They won't think to look here." Mr. Thompson knew the crypt well. There was a secret exit that led to the cemetery next to the church. From there, they could escape unseen. "We have to cross to the other side," he said, pointing to the back of the crypt. They walked among the old tombs, with Lily holding tightly to Mr. Thompson's hand. Halfway through, she tripped and dropped the doll. "My doll!" she cried, forgetting to keep her voice down. "Shh!" whispered Mr. Thompson, but it was too late. They heard voices upstairs. The men had discovered the passage. "Pick up the doll quickly," said Mr. Thompson. Lily knelt down to pick up the doll, but the drawings had scattered across the damp floor. She tried to collect them quickly, but some were wet and torn. "Leave some. Just grab the most important ones." "I can't. They're the evidence." "Lily, they're coming down." "We have to go." With tears in her eyes, she grabbed what she could and stuffed them into the doll. Mr. Thompson picked her up and ran towards the secret exit. The crypt door leading to the cemetery was stuck. Mr. Thompson pushed hard, but it wouldn't budge. "It's locked," he said, desperate. "There," pointed Lily. "There's a little window." It was a small window, almost at ground level. Mr. Thompson broke the glass with a rock and pushed Lily out. "Run to the cemetery and hide behind the big mausoleum. I'll be right behind you." But when Mr. Thompson tried to get through the window, the men had already arrived at the crypt. "Stop right there," shouted one of them. Mr. Thompson managed to get half his body through the window, but was grabbed by the leg. He kicked hard and managed to break free, but hurt himself in the process. "Lily!" he called, limping toward the cemetery. "I'm here," she replied from behind the mausoleum. "Mr. Thompson reached her, panting and with pain in his leg. "We have to get out of here. They'll be able to get through the window, too." "Where are we going now?" "To Dr. Evans's house. She's the only one I can trust." They left the cemetery through the back gate and walked through the deserted streets of Harmony Creek. Mr. Thompson limped, but tried not to show pain so as not to scare Lily. "Your drawings are wet," he said, looking at the doll. "Some are ruined," she replied sadly. "But I still have the most important ones." "Which are the most important?" "The ones that show the faces of the bosses, and the one with the names of the children who were sold." Mr. Thompson felt a relief. Even with some drawings lost, they still had enough evidence. Dr. Evans's house was in a quiet residential neighborhood. It was 2 in the morning when Mr. Thompson knocked on the door. "Dr. Evans, it's me, Mr. Thompson." "I need help." The psychologist appeared at the window, still in pajamas. "Mr. Thompson, what's going on?" "We're in danger. Please let us in." Dr. Evans opened the door and led them inside. "Are you okay? Lily, are you hurt?" "I'm okay," replied the girl, "but the bad men are chasing us." "What bad men?" Mr. Thompson quickly explained the whole situation, the discovery about the trafficking network, the persecution, the trap at the church. "My God, Mr. Thompson, this is very serious. We need to call the FBI. We can't trust anyone on the local police force. They have people infiltrated. Then let's call the press. If we make this public, they won't be able to chase us anymore." "Good idea. Do you know any reliable journalists?" "I do. Carol Mendez, who works at the regional TV station. She's serious and courageous." "The same Carol who covered Bethany's accident?" "Yes." "Why?" "She already suspected that something was wrong. She'll help us." "Dr. Evans called Carol, who agreed to come immediately, even though it was dawn. "She's bringing a film crew," said Dr. Evans. "We're going to record everything and broadcast it live." "Will that work?" asked Mr. Thompson. "It has to work. It's our only chance." While they waited for Carol, Lily organized the drawings that were left. Even wet and some torn, they were still impressive. "Look at this one," she said, showing a drawing. "It's the man who was in charge of everything. He had a big office and talked on the phone about merchandise. Do you remember his name?" Mr. Grant Silvera. He was a judge. Mr. Thompson frowned. That name is familiar. Wasn't he the prosecutor who investigated the shelter? No, it was Mr. Grant Pereira. This is Silvera. Oh, they're different people then. Lily, are you sure he was a judge? Asked Dr. Evans. I am. He had a big desk with a little hammer on it, and everyone called him Your Honor. If a judge was involved, that explains why the investigation was stifled, said Mr. Thompson. Carol arrived half an hour later with a small crew, a cameraman and a sound technician. She was a determined woman, 40 years old, who Mr. Thompson remembered seeing several times on TV. Carol, thanks for coming, said Mr. Thompson. No need to thank me. If what you told me on the phone is true, this could be the most important report of my career. It's true. We have evidence. Then let's record. Lily, can you tell your story to the camera? I can, replied the girl, with a courage that impressed everyone. Let's start with you, Mr. Thompson. Tell me how you found out about the network. Mr. Thompson began to tell his story, from finding Lily being humiliated to discovering that Bethany had been murdered. His voice was firm, full of emotion and conviction. Now you, Lily, tell me what you saw at the shelter. Lily, at only 4 years old, began to speak with impressive clarity. She described the orders of children, the payments she witnessed, the names she heard. And you drew all that? I drew it. Bethany taught me. Can you show me the drawings? Lily took the drawings that were left and showed them to the camera. Even wet, it was possible to see the impressive precision of the portraits. This is incredible, said Carol. A 4-year-old documented an entire trafficking network. She is very special, said Mr. Thompson, hugging Lily. We're going on air in 10 minutes, said Carol. This is going to rock the whole country. But as they were preparing for the live broadcast, they heard cars stopping in front of the house. Mr. Thompson looked out the window and saw the men in suits getting out of the vehicles. They found us, he said. How? Asked Dr. Evans. It doesn't matter. We have to broadcast now. But they're going to try to stop us. Then let's broadcast even if we're stopped. That will be even more impactful. Carol signaled the cameraman to start recording. They were live. This is Carol Mendez from Regional TV, broadcasting directly from the home of psychologist Dr. Evans, where we are about to reveal a child trafficking network that involves local authorities. It was then that the door of the house was broken down, and the men in suits stormed into the room live, in front of the cameras across the country. The live invasion caused an immediate impact. The cameraman continued filming even when the men in suits entered the room, and thousands of viewers watched in shock as the situation unfolded before the cameras. "Turn off that camera," shouted the scarred man, advancing toward the equipment. "Don't turn it off," shouted Carol. "The whole country is watching this." The man hesitated. It was one thing to pursue Mr. Thompson and Lily in secret, but quite another to do it live on national television. "You don't know who you're messing with," said the stocky man, trying to maintain composure in front of the cameras. "We know exactly who we're messing with," replied Mr. Thompson, hugging Lily. "Murderers who killed my wife and want to harm an innocent child. These are serious accusations without proof," said the man, clearly uncomfortable with the situation. "We have proof," said Lily, raising the doll. "I have drawings of all of you." The live broadcast was being followed by thousands of people. On social media, the hashtag #OnSaveLily was already among the trending topics. The public pressure was growing every minute. Carol's cell phone began to ring incessantly. "It's from the newsroom," she said. "They're saying the audience has skyrocketed. The whole country is watching." "Then it's over," said Dr. Evans. "They can't do anything to us anymore." But the scarred man smiled coldly. "You think this is going to stop us? We have connections at all levels. This broadcast will be considered a staging." "A staging?" asked Carol. "Yes. A failed businessman trying to blackmail respected authorities using a traumatized child. We already have psychiatrists ready to attest that the girl suffers from delusions. Mr. Thompson felt his blood run cold. They had thought of everything. "But we have the evidence," he said, pointing to Lily's drawings. "Drawings made by a 4-year-old with mental problems. Which court will accept that?" It was then that Lily did something that surprised everyone. She broke free from Mr. Thompson's arms and walked to stand right in front of the camera. "My name is Lily Thompson," she said in a clear, firm voice. "I am 4 years old, and I saw very bad things at the shelter where I lived. People selling children as if they were toys." "Girl, you're confusing things," said the stocky man, trying to approach her. "I'm not confusing things," shouted Lily. "You are the man who gave money to the director of the shelter. You said you wanted a 5-year-old blonde girl for a wealthy family in Rio de Janeiro." The man paled. "That's a lie." "It's not a lie, and you," she said, pointing to the scarred man, "you took Bethany away. You said she was going to be punished for telling secrets." "The child is delirious," said the scarred man, but his voice trembled. "She's not delirious," said a voice at the door. It was Mrs. Davis, who had managed to break free from her captors. "I also saw suspicious things at the shelter. Children who disappeared from the records, adoptions that did not follow the protocols." "Mrs. Davis," exclaimed Mr. Thompson, "how did you escape?" "When you fled the church, they released me. But I called the federal police. They're on their way." "The federal police?" asked Carol. "Yes, when they realized that local authorities were involved, they decided to take over the investigation." The men in suits exchanged nervous glances. The situation was completely out of control. "You can't prove anything," said the scarred man, but his confidence was shaken. "We can," said Lily. "I remember everything. I remember the names, the faces, the conversations, and I know where the secret room of the shelter is." "What secret room?" asked Carol. "A room with lots of papers and photos. Bethany showed it to me once. She took pictures of everything with a small cell phone." "And where is that cell phone?" asked Mr. Thompson. "It's hidden in the room. Bethany made me promise that if anything happened to her, I would tell a good person where it was." "And where is it?" "Inside the big Bible that was on the director's desk. There's a hole in the middle of the pages." The men in suits realized that the situation was lost. The live broadcast had made any attempt to stifle the case impossible. "All right," said the scarred man, "you won this battle, but the war is far from over." "There will be no war," said Mrs. Davis. "Listen to that." Outside, the sound of sirens was approaching. Federal police cars were arriving. "It's over," said Dr. Evans. "You're going to pay for everything you've done." "We'll see," said the stocky man. "We have very good lawyers." "It won't help," said Lily, "because I'm going to tell everything I saw, and I'm going to draw all the people who were doing bad things." The federal police officers entered the house cautiously, seeing the situation being broadcast live. The agent leading the team identified himself as Agent Ricardo Moura. "I'm Agent Moura from the federal police," he said to the cameras. "We are taking over this investigation." "Agent, these men are part of a child trafficking network," said Mr. Thompson. "We are already aware of the situation. We have received several complaints in the last few hours, since the broadcast began." "Several complaints?" asked Carol. "Yes. People who watched the broadcast and recognized the faces, people who knew of irregularities in the shelter, even other children who went through similar situations." "And the secret room that Lily mentioned?" asked Dr. Evans. "We already have a team heading to the old shelter. We're going to find that cell phone." "It won't help," said the scarred man. "We have nothing to do with this." "You do," said Lily. "He has a mark on his arm, a scar in the shape of a star." "I drew it." She showed one of the drawings, where she had detailed the scar on the man's arm. "Show me your arm," ordered the agent. Reluctantly, the man rolled up his sleeve, revealing exactly the scar that Lily had drawn. "Impressive," said the agent. "A 4-year-old with a photographic memory. That will be very useful in the investigation." "She is very special," said Mr. Thompson, hugging Lily with pride. "Agent, there's something else you need to know," said Mrs. Davis. Bethany Thompson, Mr. Thompson's wife, did not die in an accident. She was murdered because she discovered the network. We already suspected that. We will reopen the accident investigation. And what will happen to Lily? Asked Dr. Evans. She will be under special protection. She is a very important witness. Can I still live with Mr. Thompson? Asked Lily. We will evaluate. But considering that you have formed a strong bond and that he has protected her all this time, I think so. What about her mother? Asked Mr. Thompson. Isabella is in a psychiatric hospital. We will also investigate her case. If she was unduly interned to facilitate the trafficking of her daughter, that is another crime. The live broadcast continued for 2 more hours, with viewers watching the arrests and the unfolding of the investigation. Lily became a national hero, the brave girl who unmasked a child trafficking network. Lily, you were very brave, said Carol. How do you feel now? I feel good. I'm not afraid of the bad men anymore. And you, Mr. Thompson, how do you feel? I feel that I have finally done justice for my wife. Bethany would be proud. And what's the next step? We are going to help the police in everything that is necessary. And I will take care of Lily as if she were my daughter. She is your daughter, said Lily, hugging Mr. Thompson. Bethany said you were going to be my daddy. Mr. Thompson felt tears in his eyes. And I will be, forever. That night, after the cameras were gone and the police finished the initial statements, Mr. Thompson and Lily were finally able to rest at Dr. Evans's house. Mr. Thompson, can I ask you something? Said Lily before bed. Of course, honey. Why did you save me that day at Tony's bakery? Mr. Thompson thought for a moment. Because when I saw you being humiliated, I remembered my wife. She always said that if we couldn't have children, one day we would find a child who needed us. And do you think that's what happened? I'm sure Bethany brought us to each other. So Bethany didn't really leave? No, she is always with us, taking care of us. I knew it, said Lily, closing her eyes. I always knew. As Lily fell asleep, Mr. Thompson reflected on everything that had happened. A 4-year-old girl had been braver than many adults. She had faced her fears and told the truth, even knowing that it could put her in danger. Now, with the network unmasked and the culprits being arrested, they could finally have peace. But Mr. Thompson knew that Lily's journey of healing was just beginning. She would need a lot of love and patience to overcome everything she had lived through. But he was willing to give her all of that, because in some mysterious way, Bethany had managed to bring the daughter he always wanted into his arms. And even if there were still many challenges ahead, Mr. Thompson knew that together they could overcome anything. 3 weeks had passed since the live broadcast that shook the country. Mr. Thompson and Lily were living in a safe house provided by the federal police, away from the media exposure that followed the case. The girl had become a national symbol of courage, but this brought unexpected consequences. Daddy Thompson, why can't I go play in the park? Asked Lily on a sunny morning, looking out the window of the protected house. Because there are still bad people who may want to hurt you, replied Mr. Thompson, trying to explain in a way that she understood. But aren't the bad men in jail? Some are, but there may be others that we haven't caught yet. The investigation had revealed a much larger network than anyone imagined. In addition to the men who were chasing them, the police discovered connections with politicians, businessmen, and even authorities from other states. The case was being called Operation Lost Innocence by the press. That morning, Agent Moore paid an important visit. He brought news about Lily's mother. Mr. Thompson, we've found Isabella, he said, sitting in the simple living room of the safe house. How is she? Asked Mr. Thompson, while Lily played with dolls on the rug. Better than we expected. The doctors confirmed that she was excessively sedated to keep her hospitalized. When they adjusted the medication, she began to show signs of significant improvement. Can she have visitors? She can. In fact, she's asking to see her daughter. Lily stopped playing and looked at the two men. Is my mom better? "Yes, honey," said the agent. "She really wants to see you." "I want to see her too, but I don't want to leave Daddy Thompson." "No one will force you to do anything," said Mr. Thompson, stroking the girl's hair. "We'll visit your mom and see how you feel." "There's something else," continued the agent. "We discovered that Isabella did not develop mental problems naturally. She was systematically drugged by people linked to the network." "Drugged? Why?" "To incapacitate her and facilitate the process of taking Lily from her. When a child becomes orphaned or abandoned, it is easier to make her disappear from the system." Mr. Thompson felt anger grow in his chest. These people had no limits. They really didn't. But now we're going to bring them to justice. The next day, Mr. Thompson and Lily went to visit Isabella at the psychiatric hospital. The girl was nervous, holding tightly to Mr. Thompson's hand throughout the journey. "What if she doesn't remember me?" asked Lily. "She'll remember. You're the most important thing in her life." "But what if she wants to take me away from you?" "No one will take you away from me. I promise." The hospital had a more welcoming atmosphere than Mr. Thompson expected. Isabella was waiting for them in a visiting room, accompanied by a nurse. When she saw Lily, her eyes filled with tears. "My girl," whispered Isabella, holding out her arms. Lily hesitated for a moment, then ran into her mother's arms. The reunion was emotional, but also delicate. "You've grown so much," said Isabella, hugging her daughter. "I missed you every day." "I missed you too, Mommy, but Daddy Thompson took care of me." Isabella looked at Mr. Thompson with gratitude. "Thank you for protecting my daughter." "She has become very important to me," replied Mr. Thompson. "I took care of her as if she were my own daughter." "I know. Lily has always been special. Since she was little, she showed an impressive intelligence." "Mommy, are you going to get better soon?" asked Lily. "I will, my dear. The doctors say that in a few weeks I can get out of here." "And then are you going to live with us?" The simple question created an awkward silence. Mr. Thompson and Isabella knew that the legal situation was complex. "We'll see what's best for you," said Isabella diplomatically. During the visit, Mr. Thompson observed that Isabella was really better. She spoke coherently, showed genuine affection for her daughter, and showed no signs of the mental problems that had led to her hospitalization. "Isabella, can I ask you something?" said Mr. Thompson when Lily was distracted with a toy. "Sure. Do you remember how the problems started? The episodes that led to hospitalization?" Isabella frowned. "I remember being very confused, having hallucinations. But now I realize that it started after I started asking questions about the shelter where Lily had been." "What kind of questions?" "I wanted to know why my daughter had been placed there without my consent. I went to the place several times, talked to the director, made a lot of noise." "And after that you started to feel bad?" "Yes. I started having terrible headaches, mental confusion. I thought it was stress, but now you know you were being drugged." "Exactly, to shut me up and facilitate the process of taking Lily from me." Mr. Thompson felt even more anger towards those responsible. They had destroyed an entire family for their criminal purposes. "Isabella, when you get out of here, what do you intend to do?" "I want to get my daughter back. But I also want her to be happy. And if she wants to stay with me, then let's find a way for all of us to be together." The answer surprised Mr. Thompson. "Together?" "Yes. Lily sees you as her father. It would be cruel to separate her from you now. Would you accept shared custody?" "I would. You saved my daughter. You deserve to be part of her life." When they left the hospital, Lily was thoughtful. "Daddy Thompson, my mom is different," she said. "Different how, honey?" "She's normal, like she was before she got sick." "That's good, isn't it?" "It is. But now I don't know what's going to happen to us." "Nothing bad will happen. Your mom and I will talk and find a solution that is good for everyone. Do you promise you won't abandon me?" "I promise. I will never abandon you." 2 weeks later, Mr. Thompson received an unexpected call. It was Mr. Grant Pereira, the retired prosecutor who had investigated the shelter years before. "Mr. Thompson, I need to meet with you. I have important information about your wife." "What kind of information?" "I prefer to speak in person. Can you come to my office this afternoon?" "I can, but I'm taking Lily. She can't be alone." "No problem. In fact, it might be good for her to hear it too." Mr. Grant Pereira's office was in a neighboring town. He was an elderly man with white hair and tired eyes who received visitors in a simple but welcoming room. "Mr. Thompson, thank you for coming. And this must be the famous Lily." "Hi," said Lily shyly. "Lily, you are a very brave girl. You helped save many children." "Mr. Grant, what information do you have about my wife?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Bethany came to see me 2 weeks before she died. She had discovered something very serious about the shelter." "What did she discover?" "That it wasn't just vulnerable children being sold. There was a specific scheme to create orphan children." "How so?" "They identified families with special children, intelligent, beautiful, with some talent. Then they created situations to separate these children from their parents." Mr. Thompson felt his blood run cold. "Like what they did with Isabella?" "Exactly. Drugging the parents, creating situations of abandonment, hospitalizing healthy people to incapacitate them." "And Lily was a specific target?" "Yes. Her intelligence and photographic memory made her very valuable to certain families." "What families?" "Wealthy families who wanted special children as trophies. They paid very high prices for children with specific talents." Lily, who had heard everything, approached Mr. Thompson. "They wanted to sell me." "They wanted to, honey. But they didn't succeed." "Why not?" "Because your Bethany and Daddy Thompson protected you." "Mr. Grant, is there anything else I need to know?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Yes. Bethany left a letter for you. She suspected that something might happen to her." The prosecutor handed over a yellowed envelope. Mr. Thompson opened it with trembling hands and read aloud. "My dear Mr. Thompson, if you are reading this, it means that my fears have materialized. I have discovered a terrible network that exploits children, and I know that I may be killed for it. But there is something you need to know. I met a special girl at the shelter. Her name is Lily, and she has an extraordinary intelligence. If something happens to me, please find her and protect her. I am sure that she will be our daughter, the one we always dreamed of having. She needs you and you need her. With all my love, Bethany." Mr. Thompson finished reading with tears in his eyes. Lily hugged him tightly. "Bethany knew you were going to be my daddy," she said. "She knew," agreed Mr. Thompson. "She chose us for each other." "There's one last thing," said Mr. Grant Pereira. "Bethany also left a scholarship fund for Lily. She sold some jewelry and created a bank account specifically to guarantee the girl's future. She did that even without knowing if I would find Lily. She was sure that you would find her. Bethany has always been a woman of great faith." When they left the office, Mr. Thompson and Lily sat on a park bench to process all the information. "Daddy Thompson, does that mean I've always been your daughter?" asked Lily. "It means that fate united us, honey. Your Bethany and your biological mother both love you very much. And now we're going to be a family. You, me, and when your mum gets out of the hospital, her too. A big family, the biggest and most loving family in the world." Lily smiled, the first genuinely happy smile that Mr. Thompson had seen on her face since he met her. "I like the idea," she said, hugging the man who had become her father at heart. At that moment, Mr. Thompson knew that all the difficulties they had faced were worth it. They had found each other exactly when they needed it most, and now nothing could separate them. 2 months after Bethany's letter, Mr. Thompson faced a dilemma he did not expect. Isabella had been discharged from the hospital and was living in a small apartment that he had rented for her, but the situation was becoming more complicated than he had imagined. "Daddy Thompson, why does Mommy Isabella get sad when I talk about you?" asked Lily one afternoon, while drawing at the kitchen table of the safe house. Sad how, honey? She gets quiet and her eyes get wet, just like when I remember Bethany. Mr. Thompson sighed. He knew the situation was delicate. Isabella, despite being grateful for him taking care of Lily, was struggling with complex feelings about having lost 2 years of her daughter's life. Your mom is still recovering. Sometimes people who have been sick get sad, even after they get better. But I don't want her to be sad. I want her to be happy just like me. I want that too. That afternoon, Mr. Thompson received a call from Dr. Evans, who was psychologically accompanying both Lily and Isabella. Mr. Thompson, we need to talk. Isabella is having trouble accepting the new family dynamic. What kind of difficulties? She feels guilty for not having protected Lily and at the same time resents the fact that you have become the main father figure in her life. But she agreed to shared custody. She agreed rationally, but emotionally it's been very difficult. What do you suggest? That you have a frank conversation, the three of you together. Lily needs to understand that she can love both of you without feeling guilty. What if Isabella decides she wants Lily just for herself? Then we're going to have a problem. But I think she's too smart to do that. That night, Mr. Thompson prepared a special dinner at the safe house. He had invited Isabella for an important conversation, with Lily present. "Mommy Isabella, do you like Daddy Thompson's food?" asked Lily innocently. "I do, my dear," replied Isabella. But Mr. Thompson noticed the tension in her voice. "Isabella, I think we need to talk about our situation," said Mr. Thompson carefully. "I agree. This can't go on like this." "What do you mean?" asked Lily, realizing the seriousness of the conversation. "Nothing serious, honey. We just need to decide how we're going to live when we leave the safe house." "Are we all going to live together?" she asked hopefully. Isabella and Mr. Thompson looked at each other. It was the question they both feared. "Lily," said Isabella, "I am your real mother. You were born from me, grew in my belly." "I know that, Mommy. And Mr. Thompson took care of you when I couldn't. He is a very good man. He is my daddy at heart." "Yes, he is. But now that I'm well, we need to decide what our family is going to be like." Lily was quiet for a moment, processing the information. "Don't you want to be together anymore?" "It's not that," said Mr. Thompson. "It's that the situation is complicated." "Complicated how?" "Well, normal families have a father and a mother who live together, but our family is different. Different bad, different special," said Isabella. "But we need to find a way to function." "I have an idea," said Lily suddenly. "What?" "Why don't you guys get married? Then we can be a normal family." The child's suggestion left the two adults speechless. Mr. Thompson and Isabella exchanged an awkward glance. "Honey, it doesn't work like that," said Mr. Thompson. "People don't just get married to form a family." "Why not?" "Because marriage is for people who love each other in a special way." "And you don't love each other?" "We respect each other a lot," said Isabella, "but romantic love is different." "But you both love me." "Yes, very much. So we already have love in the family. We can learn the rest." Lily's simple logic made them both reflect. The little girl was right. They had something very strong in common, their love for her. "Lily has a point," said Mr. Thompson. "Maybe we should think about unconventional ways to be a family." "How do you imagine that working?" asked Isabella. "Well, we could live in the same house, but have separate spaces or houses nearby. The important thing is that Lily has stability. And what if in the future you want to have other families? Then we'll deal with that when it happens. For now, our focus is her." "I like the idea," said Lily. "Can we try it?" "We can," agreed Isabella. "But I'll be honest, I'm still learning to share you." "You don't have to share. I have enough love for both of you." "I know, my dear, but sometimes adults are complicated." "Then let's be simpler," suggested Lily. "Like kids." 3 weeks later, they were moving into a new house. Mr. Thompson had bought a large property with 2 houses, a main one and a smaller one in the back, connected by a garden. Isabella would stay in the smaller house, Mr. Thompson in the main one, and Lily could move freely between the two. "This is your house too," Mr. Thompson told Isabella as she arranged her things. "Thank you. I know it's not easy for you to share space. Actually, it's easier than I imagined. Lily is happier when we're all together. She really is special, isn't she? Very. Sometimes I think she's more mature than both of us. Definitely. Yesterday she told me that it doesn't matter where we sleep because family is about being close at heart. She said that? She did. And she's right. That night, during dinner in the main house, Lily made an announcement. "I want to tell you something." "What is it, sweetie?" asked Mr. Thompson. "I remember more things about Aunt Bethany." "What things?" "She told me that she chose you two to be my parents." "Us two?" asked Isabella, surprised. "Yes. She said that Daddy Thompson would find me first, but that my real mom would also come back, and that you would learn to be a family together." "She really said that?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Yes, and she said one more important thing." "What?" "That family isn't about being perfect. It's about never giving up on each other." The two adults were moved. Once again, Lily had a wisdom that surprised them. "She's right," said Isabella. "We won't give up." "Never," agreed Mr. Thompson. "So now we're a real family?" asked Lily. "We are," they both answered at the same time. "Can I draw a picture of our family?" "Of course." Lily took paper and colored pencils and began to draw with concentration. When she finished, she showed the result. 3 figures holding hands in a large house with colorful birds flying around. "It's us," she said proudly. "It's beautiful," said Isabella. "But there's something else," said Lily, taking another pencil. She drew a 4th translucent figure hovering over the other 3. "Who's that?" asked Mr. Thompson. "It's Aunt Bethany. She's always with us, taking care of our family." "Always," agreed Mr. Thompson, feeling a peace he hadn't felt in a long time. 2 weeks later, they received a visit from Agent Ricardo Mora with updates on the case. "How's the investigation going?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Almost finished. We managed to dismantle the network completely. There were 47 arrests in 6 states. And the children? Many were reunited with their real families. Others were placed in legal foster families." "That's good," said Isabella. "Lily, you should feel proud. Your courage saved many children." "I just told the truth," she replied. "Sometimes that's what changes the world, brave people telling the truth." "Agent, is there still danger for our family?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Not anymore. The leaders of the network are in jail and the trials are being held. You can live normally now." "Does that mean I can go to school?" asked Lily, excited. "It does," smiled the agent. "And can I play in the park?" "You can. And make friends? You can do everything a normal child does." "That's great. I was tired of hiding." After the agent left, Mr. Thompson and Isabella sat in the garden while Lily played. "We did it," said Isabella. "She's safe." "Yes, and happy." "Mr. Thompson, can I tell you something?" "Of course." "When I was in the hospital, in moments of clarity, I prayed that someone would be taking care of my daughter. I never imagined it would be someone like you, someone like me, someone who would love her as their own daughter, someone who would risk their life to protect her. Any parent would do that." "No, they wouldn't." "You're special, Mr. Thompson. Bethany chose well. Thank you for letting me be her dad. Thank you for being the dad she deserves." That night when Lily was sleeping, Mr. Thompson sat next to her bed and watched the girl who had completely changed his life. "Good night, sweetie," he whispered. "Daddy Thompson," she said sleepily. "Yes? Can I plant flowers in the garden tomorrow?" "You can. I'm going to plant flowers for Aunt Bethany, to let her know we're happy." "She already knows, my dear. She always knew." "I think so too," said Lily, closing her eyes with a smile. Mr. Thompson left the room knowing that they had finally found peace. After months of persecution, fear and uncertainty, they were a family. Different, unconventional, but real and full of love, and somewhere he was sure Bethany was smiling. 6 months later, Lily was starting her first day at the local school. Mr. Thompson and Isabella accompanied her together, as they had agreed to do in all the important moments of her life. "I'm nervous," said Lily, holding their hands as they walked through the yard of St. Clair Elementary School. "It's normal to be nervous on the first day," said Isabella. "But you'll do great. What if the other kids don't like me?" "They will," said Mr. Thompson. "You're a special, intelligent and caring girl." "But what if they ask why I have 2 parents?" "You tell the truth," said Isabella, "that your family is different, but full of love." The teacher, a kind lady named Mrs. Mariana, greeted them at the classroom door. "So, this is the famous Lily," she said, smiling. "I've heard a lot about you." "Good things?" asked Lily timidly. "Only good things. I'm looking forward to seeing your drawings." "I draw very well," said Lily, gaining confidence. "I'm sure you do." Mr. Thompson and Isabella said goodbye to Lily with kisses and hugs, promising to pick her up at lunchtime. "She'll be fine," said Isabella to Mr. Thompson as they left the school. "She will. She's stronger than we imagined. Sometimes I forget that she's only 4 years old. She's been through so much, but now she's going to have a normal childhood." "I hope so." They went for coffee at a bakery near the school, something that had become routine on the mornings when they took Lily together. "Mr. Thompson, can I tell you something?" said Isabella, stirring sugar into her coffee. "Of course. I've been thinking a lot about our situation, about how we got here. And I think Bethany really planned all this. It wasn't a coincidence that you found Lily that day. I think so too. She knew that you needed a daughter as much as Lily needed a father. And she knew that you would come back into our lives when you were ready." "Exactly. She created a family for all of us. Do you believe in these things? In destiny, in people who have passed away taking care of us? Now I do. After everything that's happened, there's no way not to believe. Me too. That afternoon when they went to pick up Lily from school, they found a radiant girl." "How was the first day?" asked Isabella. "It was wonderful. I made 3 friends, and the teacher said my drawings are the best in the class." "That's great, sweetie," said Mr. Thompson. "And you know what else? I told everyone that I have 2 parents, and no one thought it was weird." "No?" "No. Marina also has 2 fathers, and Pedro lives with his grandma. The teacher said that family is about love, not about having a married mom and dad." "She's right," said Isabella. "Can I tell you one more thing?" "Of course. I drew Aunt Bethany today, and the teacher asked who it was. I told her she was my mom in heaven who takes care of our family." "And what did she say?" "She said it's nice to have a mom in heaven, that she must be very proud of me." "She is," said Mr. Thompson, moved. That night, during dinner, Lily made an important announcement. "I want to tell you something." "What is it?" asked Mr. Thompson and Isabella at the same time. "I don't have nightmares anymore." "Really?" asked Isabella. "Really. It's been 2 weeks since I slept through the night without waking up scared." "That's great, sweetie," said Mr. Thompson. "You know why?" "Why?" "Because now I know I'm safe, that you'll always protect me." "Always," they promised. "And also because Aunt Bethany told me in my dreams that I can stop being afraid." "She said that?" "She did. She said the bad men will never bother me again, and that I can be a kid again." "And you want to be a kid again?" asked Isabella. "I do. I want to play, study, make friends. I want to be normal." "You've always been normal, my dear," said Mr. Thompson. "You just went through things you shouldn't have gone through. But now it's over. Now I can grow up happy." "You can." 3 months later, Lily was completely adapted to school and normal life. She had a group of friends, participated in extracurricular activities, and showed impressive talents not only in drawing, but also in math and reading. "She's reading books for 8-year-olds, said Mrs. Mariana during a meeting with Mr. Thompson and Isabella. "Her intelligence is truly exceptional." "Is that good or worrying?" asked Isabella. "It's good, but we need to stimulate her appropriately. I suggest you consider a special school for gifted children." "But she's happy here," said Mr. Thompson. "She is, and she can stay for another year or two, but eventually she'll need bigger challenges." "We'll talk to her," said Isabella. "The decision has to be hers too." "You're very sensible parents," said the teacher. "Lily is lucky to have you." "We're lucky to have her," corrected Mr. Thompson. That night, they talked to Lily about the possibility of changing schools in the future. "Special school?" she asked. "For smart kids?" "Yes, for kids who learn faster," explained Isabella. "And will I have to leave Mrs. Mariana's school?" "Not now, maybe next year." "Can I think about it?" "Of course, there's no rush." "Daddy Thompson, can I ask you something?" "Always." "Do you think Aunt Bethany wanted me to go to a special school?" "I think she wanted you to be happy." "If you're happy in a special school, she'll be happy. And if I'm happy here, then she'll also be happy. So I'm going to decide based on my happiness?" "Exactly. Then I'm going to stay here a little longer. I like my friends." "Perfect," said Isabella. A month later, they received an unexpected visit. It was Carol, the journalist who had done the live broadcast that changed their lives. "Hi, Lily," said Carol, hugging the girl. "How are you?" "Good. I'm in school and I have lots of friends." "That's great. You deserve it." "Carol, what do we owe this visit to?" asked Mr. Thompson. "I came to propose something. I want to do a follow-up story, show how you are now, a year later." "I don't know if it's a good idea," said Isabella. "We want Lily to have a normal life. It would be something positive. Show that it's possible to overcome trauma, that unconventional families can work." "Can I participate?" asked Lily. "Only if you want to," said Carol. "I want to. But can I talk about my friends at school?" "Of course." "And about how happy I am now?" "Mostly about that." "Then I accept." The story was done in the garden of the house, with Lily playing and showing her flowers. She had kept her promise to plant flowers for Bethany. "Lily, do you remember what your life was like before?" asked Carol. "I remember. It was sad and scary, but now it's happy." "What changed?" "I gained a family, and I learned that sometimes bad things happen, but they can always get good again." "And are you afraid of anything now?" "Only getting bad grades in school," she said, laughing. "But Mommy Isabella and Daddy Thompson help me with my homework." "You call them Mom and Dad?" "Yes, Mommy Isabella is my mum who had me in her belly. Daddy Thompson is my dad who chose me in his heart, and I'm very lucky to have both of them. And Aunt Bethany? She's my mom in heaven. She made me find my family." "Do you still think about her?" "Every day, especially when I'm happy. I think she's happy when I'm happy." "I'm sure she is," said Carol, visibly moved. When the story aired 2 weeks later, it caused a national sensation. Lily had become a symbol of hope and overcoming adversity. "See how many people sent letters," said Isabella, showing a pile of correspondence. "Many," said Lily, "all saying how your story inspired them." "Is that good?" "It's very good. It means you helped other people have hope, like Aunt Bethany helped me." "Exactly like that. So now I'm also a person who helps?" "You've always been," said Mr. Thompson, "since the first day I met you." "Why?" "Because you taught me to love again. You taught me that family is about choice, not about blood. And you taught me to be a real mother," added Isabella. "Not just the woman who had a daughter, but the woman who fights every day to be the best mother possible." "You two are the best parents in the world," said Lily. "And you're the best daughter in the world," they answered together. That night, Lily made one last drawing before going to sleep. It was an image of the whole family, her, Mr. Thompson, Isabella, and Bethany, in a garden full of colorful flowers. "It's to keep forever," she said, handing the drawing to Mr. Thompson. "I'm going to frame it and put it in the living room, so everyone who comes here will know that we are a special family. We really are," agreed Mr. Thompson. Daddy Thompson? Yes. Thank you for saving me that day. Thank you for letting me save you. Now let's go to sleep. Tomorrow there's school. Tomorrow there's school, repeated Mr. Thompson, smiling. It was a simple sentence, but it represented everything they had achieved. Normalcy, stability, a future. A child who went to school every day, who had friends, who did homework, who argued about vegetables at dinner. A child who could finally just be a child. And a family that, although unconventional, was united by the strongest love that exists. The love that chooses, that persists, that transforms pain into hope. The love that Bethany had planted and that now blossomed in every smile of Lily, in every gesture of affection between the three, in every normal and precious day they lived together. A year and a half after the news story, Lily was about to turn 6 when an unexpected discovery shook the stability they had built. Mr. Thompson found a letter among Bethany's papers that he had kept in a box in the attic. Isabella, I need to show you something, he said, coming down the stairs with the letter in his trembling hands. What is it? She asked, who was helping Lily with a drawing at the kitchen table. A letter that Bethany wrote. But it's not for me. It's for Lily. For Lily? Yes. It's written, for Lily, when she turns 6. Lily stopped drawing and looked at the two adults. A letter from Aunt Bethany for me? It seems so, sweetie. Can I read it? Of course. But maybe it's better if one of us reads it to you first, suggested Isabella. Why? Because we don't know what's written. It could be something very emotional. It's okay. I'm not afraid of my emotions anymore. Mr. Thompson carefully opened the letter. It was a sheet of perfumed paper with Bethany's delicate handwriting. My dear Lily, he read aloud, if you're hearing this letter, it means you've turned 6 and you're safe with Mr. Thompson. I know you are, because I dream about you every night, and in my dreams you're always smiling. Lily moved closer to Mr. Thompson, resting her head on his arm. Continue, she asked. I want to tell you some important things. First, that you were the most special child I have ever known. Your intelligence, your kindness, your ability to love, even after so much suffering, impressed me from the first day. Did she really love me? Asked Lily. Very much, replied Mr. Thompson, continuing to read. Second, I want you to know that it wasn't your fault I left. I left because I was trying to protect you, to give you a better family, and I succeeded. You have the best dad in the world now. Daddy Thompson, you're crying, observed Lily. I am, but they're good tears. Can I continue reading? Asked Isabella. You can. Isabella took the letter and continued. Third, your real mum will come back to you. She's sick now, but she'll get better. And when that happens, the 3 of you will be a beautiful family. I chose each of you with great care. She really chose, murmured Lily. Fourth, I want you to use your gift to help other children. You have the ability to see and remember important things. Use it for good, as you're doing now. My gift? Asked Lily. Your special intelligence, your memory, your ability to draw, explained Mr. Thompson. Oh, I understand. And lastly, continued Isabella, I want you to know that I will always be with you, not in the way we would like, but in the love we create, in the choices we make, in the family we build. Every time you're kind to someone, I'll be there. Every time Mr. Thompson hugs you, I'll be there. Every time your mum caresses you, I'll be there. Is she here now? Asked Lily. She is, replied Mr. Thompson. Can you feel her? I can. She's happy because we're a family. And there's one more thing, said Isabella, reaching the end of the letter. I left a special gift for you. Ask Mr. Thompson to take you to the bank, where he keeps important documents. There's a safety deposit box with my name and yours. Inside, there's something I always wanted to give you. A gift from Aunt Bethany? Asked Lily, excited. It seems so, said Mr. Thompson. Do you want to go to the bank now? I want to. Then let's go all 3. Together. At the bank, the manager led them to the safety deposit boxes. When Mr. Thompson opened the box, registered in the name of Bethany and Lily, they found a small jewelry box and an envelope. "Open the box first," suggested Isabella. Inside, there was a delicate necklace with a bird-shaped pendant made of gold and small diamonds. "How beautiful!" exclaimed Lily. "There's a little note with it," said Mr. Thompson, picking up a small paper. "This bird represents your freedom. You were born to fly high, my dear. Wear this necklace, and always remember that you can be anything you want to be. Can I wear it now?" "Of course," said Isabella, helping to put the necklace around the girl's neck. "And the envelope?" asked Lily. Mr. Thompson opened the envelope and found a legal document and an explanatory letter. It's adoption papers," he said incredulously. "Adoption?" asked Isabella. "Bethany had started the process to legally adopt me," explained Mr. Thompson. "It's all here, documents, authorizations, even a power of attorney from your birth mother." "My mum signed?" asked Lily. "According to the documents, yes, when she was in the hospital, before she got too sick." "Does that mean you're my real dad on paper too?" asked Lily. "It means I can be if you want." "I want to, very much." "But what about Mommy Isabella?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Can she adopt me too?" asked Lily. "Is that possible?" asked Isabella. "We'll find out," said Mr. Thompson. "But first, we need to talk to your mother about this. Will she agree? Let's ask her." That afternoon, the three went to talk to Isabella about the documentation that Bethany had prepared. "She thought of everything," said Isabella, analyzing the papers, "even how to legalize the situation." "And do you agree?" asked Mr. Thompson. "I agree. In fact, I want to propose something more." "What?" "That the three of us be a legal family. Officially." "What do you mean?" asked Lily. "I want Mr. Thompson to adopt me too, as a chosen parent." "Is that possible?" asked Mr. Thompson, surprised. "Not in traditional legal terms, but we can create documents that recognize us as a chosen family. And Mr. Thompson, there's something I've wanted to ask you for a long time." "What?" "Would you marry me? Not for romantic love, but for family love, to formalize our family." "Are you serious?" "I am. We've been a family for over 2 years. Lily sees us as parents. Why not make it official?" I don't know what to say." "Say yes," asked Lily. "Then I'll have married parents like my friends at school." "But Isabella, what if one day you want to get married for love?" "Then we'll talk about that when it happens. For now, my priority is our family. And you, Mr. Thompson, don't you want to find romantic love? I have you too. It's more love than many men have in their entire lives." "So?" asked Lily anxiously. "So, yes," said Mr. Thompson. "Let's be an official family." "Really?" asked Isabella. "Really. Bethany brought us together. Lily keeps us together. It makes perfect sense." "Can I be the bridesmaid?" asked Lily. "You can be the bridesmaid and the daughter of the bride and groom," laughed Isabella. "That's great. I'm going to be the first kid at school who is a daughter, bridesmaid, and wedding planner." "Planner?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Yes, I'm going to organize everything. I already know where it's going to be. In the garden of our house, under the tree where I planted Aunt Bethany's flowers." "Perfect," said Isabella. "And I'm going to make the invitations with drawings of our family." "Great idea. And I'm going to choose the menu: chocolate cake, sandwiches, and orange juice." "Very sophisticated," joked Mr. Thompson. "And I'm going to invite all my friends from school, and Mrs. Mariana, and Agent Ricardo Mora, and Mrs. Evans, and Carol the journalist." "It's going to be a big party," said Isabella. "It's going to be the best party in the world. Because it's the party of our family." That night, after Lily fell asleep, Mr. Thompson and Isabella talked about the decision they had made. "Are you sure about this?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Absolutely. And you?" "Me too. You know why?" "Why?" "Because for the first time in my life, I know exactly what my place is in the world. I'm Lily's father and a partner in the family we built." "I feel that way too." I never thought it would be possible to be happy this way. Bethany knew it would be. She always knew. Isabella, can I tell you something? Of course. You've become one of the most important people in my life. Not romantically, but as a family. You've also become essential to me. It's not the type of love I imagined when I was young, but it's real love. It's chosen family love. Exactly. And Lily? Lily is our miracle. The child who taught us that family is about choice, dedication, and unconditional love. She'll be happy being officially our daughter. She will. And she'll grow up knowing that it's possible to create unconventional families that work. That's important. It is, because maybe one day she'll also need to create a different family for someone, like Bethany did with her, like Bethany did with all of us. That night, Mr. Thompson dreamed of Bethany for the first time since her death. In the dream, she was in the garden of the house, smiling and watching Lily play. "Thank you," he said in the dream. "Thank you," she replied, "for taking care of our family." Our family? Yes, you, Isabella, Lily, and me. We are a family, Mr. Thompson. We always have been. We always will be, he said. Always, she agreed, slowly disappearing as Lily ran towards him, laughing. Mr. Thompson woke up with the certainty that they had made the right decision. They were a family. They always had been. And now, finally, the whole world would know it too. 3 months after the discovery of the letter, the wedding day had arrived. Lily woke up at 6 in the morning, more excited than on any Christmas. "Today's the day!" she shouted, running to Mr. Thompson's room. "Today, you're getting married." "Good morning, sweetie," said Mr. Thompson, still sleepy. "What energy? I can't sleep. We have to prepare everything." "It's all prepared, remember? You organized every detail. But I need to check if the flowers are pretty, if the cake arrived, if the guests will find the house." "Calm down, breathe," said Mr. Thompson, hugging her. "Everything will be fine." "Are you nervous?" "A little. And you?" "Very, but it's good nervous." "It's happy, nervous." Isabella appeared at the door, already dressed in a simple but elegant dress, light blue in color. "How are the betrothed?" she asked, smiling. "Anxious," replied Mr. Thompson. "Mommy Isabella, you look beautiful," said Lily. "Thank you, my dear. And you, are you going to change?" "I am. My dress is beautiful." Lily ran to her room and returned minutes later wearing a white dress with blue details, matching Isabella's. "We're matching," she said, twirling to show off her dress. "It looks perfect," said Mr. Thompson. "Daddy Thompson, aren't you going to get dressed?" "I am, but first I want to give you something." Mr. Thompson took 2 small velvet boxes. "They're the rings." "Rings?" asked Lily. "Yes, one for your mom, one for me, and one for you too." "For me?" "For you, because you're also part of this family." Mr. Thompson opened the boxes, revealing 3 simple gold rings with small blue stones. "They're beautiful," exclaimed Lily. "The stones are the color of your eyes," explained Mr. Thompson, "to remind you that you're the center of our family. Can I put it on now?" "You can." Isabella helped Lily put on the ring, then put on her own. "Now are we an official family?" asked Lily. "Almost," said Mr. Thompson. "After the ceremony, we will be." "Then let's go quickly." "Calm down, sweetie. It's still early. The ceremony is at 3 in the afternoon. But we have to receive the guests. They only arrive at 2:30. Then let's prepare the garden again." They went down to the garden, which Lily had decorated with flowers picked from her own garden and colorful ribbons tied to the trees. "It's perfect," said Isabella. "Only one thing is missing," said Lily, running to get something from the house. She returned, carrying a framed portrait of Bethany. "Aunt Bethany has to participate too," she said, placing the photo on a chair decorated with flowers. "Good idea," said Mr. Thompson, moved. "So she'll see that we made it, that we're a happy family." "She already knows," said Isabella. "But it's beautiful to honor her like this." At 2:30, the guests began to arrive. Mrs. Mariana, Lily's teacher, was the first. "What a beautiful garden," she said. "Who decorated it?" "I did," answered Lily proudly. "It's wonderful. You have a lot of talent." "Thank you. Do you want to see where you're going to sit?" Lily led each guest to their place, explaining in detail how she had organized everything. Mrs. Evans, Agent Ricardo Mora, Carol the journalist, and several neighbors and friends from school arrived. "Everything is beautiful, Lily," said Mrs. Evans. "Your family is radiant." "We really are. Today is the happiest day of my life." "Why?" "Because today my daddy Thompson and my mommy Isabella are getting married, and I'm going to have real married parents." "You already had real parents," said Mrs. Evans gently. "I know, but now everyone will know." At 3 o'clock sharp, the ceremony began. The officiant was the priest from St. Joseph's Church, who had agreed to give a special blessing to the family. "We are here today," said the priest, "to celebrate something very special, not just the union of Mr. Thompson and Isabella, but the officialization of a family that already existed in the heart." "That's right," said Lily out loud, making everyone laugh. "Mr. Thompson," continued the priest, "do you accept Isabella as a companion in life and family?" "I do," replied Mr. Thompson, looking at Isabella with affection. "Isabella, do you accept Mr. Thompson as a companion in life and family?" "I do," she replied, smiling. "And Lily," said the priest, addressing the girl, "do you accept to be officially a daughter of this family?" "I do, very much," she shouted, making everyone applaud. "Then, by the grace of God and in the presence of everyone here, I declare you a family united by love, choice, and dedication." The three hugged, and all the guests applauded emotionally. "Now can we eat cake?" asked Lily. "Now we can eat cake," laughed Mr. Thompson. The party continued until the end of the afternoon. Lily kept introducing her parents to everyone who arrived. "These are my parents," she said proudly. "They got married today." "Are you happy?" asked Carol, who was documenting everything. "I'm too happy. Now I have a complete family." "Complete how?" "I have a dad, a mum, a house, school, friends, and Aunt Bethany taking care of us from heaven." "Perfect," said Carol. "Do you want to see something?" asked Lily. "Sure." Lily showed the necklace she had won from Bethany. "It's a little bird. Aunt Bethany said I was born to fly high." "And are you going to fly high?" "I am, but I'll always come back home, because now I have a family that loves me." "Always?" "Always. No matter what happens, they will never abandon me." "How do you know?" "Because they chose me. And when people choose us, it's forever." When the sun began to set, the guests left, leaving the family alone in the garden. "It was perfect," said Isabella. "It was," agreed Mr. Thompson. "Can I say something?" asked Lily. "Of course. Today I understood something important." "What?" "That Aunt Bethany didn't leave. She just changed places." "How so?" "She was here today. I felt it. She's in all the beautiful moments of our family." "She really is," said Mr. Thompson. "And you know what else?" "What?" "Now I'm not afraid of anything anymore, because I know you'll always protect me." "Always," they both promised. "And I will always love you." "We love you very much too," said Isabella. "So are we ready to live happily ever after?" "We are," said Mr. Thompson. "That's good," said Lily, hugging them both, "because I like happy endings." "This is just the beginning," said Isabella. "The beginning of what?" "Of the rest of our lives together." "It's going to be the best life in the world," said Lily. "It will be," agreed Mr. Thompson and Isabella. As they entered the house, Lily looked back one last time. For a moment, she had the impression of seeing a female figure smiling in the garden. "Thank you, Aunt Bethany," she whispered. "Thank you for what?" asked Mr. Thompson. "For giving us a family." "Did she give you the family, or did you give us a family?" "I think it was everyone together," said Lily. "Sometimes good things happen when everyone helps." True, said Mr. Thompson. Daddy Thompson. Yes? Tomorrow? Are we still going to be a family? Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and forever. That's good, said Lily, smiling, because I like being your family. And we like being your family, said Isabella. So it's agreed. We are a family forever. Forever, they both confirmed, and that night, for the first time since they met, the three slept with the absolute certainty that they belonged to each other, that they were a true family, chosen by love and blessed by destiny. The journey that had begun with a girl being humiliated in front of Tony's bakery ended with a family celebrating the love that united them. And somewhere, Bethany smiled, knowing that her plan had worked perfectly. 5 years after the wedding, Lily was 11 years old and attending the 7th grade at a specialized school for gifted children. The shy girl who was once humiliated in front of Tony's bakery had become a confident, intelligent, and dreamy young woman. "Daddy Thompson, Mommy Isabella, I have news," she announced, arriving from school on a Friday afternoon. "What news?" asked Mr. Thompson, who was watering the flowers in the garden. "I won the National Essay Contest. My story about unconventional families came in first." "That's wonderful," exclaimed Isabella, hugging her daughter. "And you know what else? I'm going to receive the award in Washington, D.C., in front of the president." "Really?" asked Mr. Thompson proudly. "Really? And I can take you two with me?" "Of course we're going," said Isabella. "That's great. I want everyone to see how you are the best parents in the world." As Lily recounted the details of the award, Mr. Thompson observed the incredible transformation of the girl. She had grown into an articulate, empathetic, and determined young woman. Her drawings had evolved into impressive paintings, and she had begun to use her story to help other children. "Oh, and one more thing," said Lily. "The school principal wants to talk to you on Monday." "About what?" asked Isabella. "About skipping another grade. She thinks I'm ready for high school." "At 11 years old?" asked Mr. Thompson, worried. "I know it's early, but I don't want to be different from other children just because I'm smart." "You're not different, sweetie. You're special." "I know, but sometimes being special is difficult." "How so?" "Sometimes I feel alone, like I'm the only child in the world who's gone through certain things." Isabella sat down next to her daughter. "You're not alone. Never have been." "I know, but sometimes I think, what if I could help other children who are going through what I went through?" "What kind of help?" asked Mr. Thompson. "Well, I have an idea. Can I tell you?" "Of course. I want to create a project for children at risk, using art and drawing to help them express their feelings. Like Aunt Bethany did with you?" "Exactly. She taught me that drawing can be a way to heal. I want to teach that to other children." "It's a wonderful idea," said Isabella, "but I'm too young. No one will take me seriously." "You underestimate the power of your story," said Mr. Thompson. "You're one of the most well-known people in the country. Your voice carries weight. Do you think I could do it?" "We think you can do anything you want," said Isabella. "Then let's do it. Can I start here in Harmony Creek? We can talk to Mrs. Evans. She still works with traumatized children." "Perfect." That night, during dinner, Lily made a revelation that surprised her parents. "Can I tell you something?" "Always," said Mr. Thompson. "Sometimes I still dream of Aunt Bethany." "Dream?" asked Isabella. "Yes. She comes into my dreams and gives me advice." "What kind of advice?" "About how to use my story to help other people. About not being afraid to be different. About valuing the family I have." "And what has she told you lately?" "That it's time for me to fly alone, but that I'll always have you to come back to." "Fly alone how?" "I don't know yet, but I feel like something big is going to happen." "Aren't you afraid?" "No, because I've learned that when we have a family that loves us, we can face anything." "That's true," said Mr. Thompson. "And you know what else Aunt Bethany said?" "What?" that you were the best parent she could have chosen for me. She said that? She did. And that she's proud of the family we built. We're proud too, said Isabella. Of me? Of all of us. Of how we overcame the difficulties. Of how we became a true family. Even though we're different, especially for being different, said Mr. Thompson. Our family is proof that love has no rules. I like that, said Lily. Love without rules. 3 months later, Lily was in Washington, D.C., receiving the National Essay Award. She took the stage with confidence, wearing the necklace that Bethany had left for her. My name is Lily dos Santos Thompson, she said into the microphone. I'm 11 years old and I want to talk about family. The audience fell silent. When I was little, I thought family was just a father, a mother and children living together. Today I know that family is much more than that. Family is about choice, about people who decide to love you, even when you weren't born from them. Family is about never giving up, even when things get difficult. Family is about creating bonds that are stronger than blood. My family is different. My dad chose me in Tony's bakery when I was being humiliated. My mom came back to me after overcoming an illness. And my heart mom, who has already passed away, united us all through love. We don't have the same genetics, but we have the same love. We don't follow traditional rules, but we create our own rules based on respect and affection. That's why I say, family is not about perfection. It's about acceptance. It's about being together in good times and bad. It's about growing together, learning together, dreaming together. My family taught me that it's possible to transform pain into love, trauma into strength, difference into beauty. And that's why I dedicate this award to all the parents who choose to love, to all the mothers who never give up, and to all the children who believe that it's possible to be happy even when the beginning is difficult. Thank you. The audience stood in an ovation that lasted several minutes. Mr. Thompson and Isabella cried with pride in the front row. That's our daughter, whispered Mr. Thompson. Our incredible daughter, agreed Isabella. When Lily came down from the stage, she ran into her parents' arms. I'm proud of you, she said. We're proud of you, they replied. Do you know what I felt up there? What? That Aunt Bethany was with me, that she never really left. She never did, said Mr. Thompson. And you know what else? What? That our story doesn't end here. We're just beginning. Beginning what? To help other families discover that love has no rules. 6 months later, Lily had officially created Project Freebird, an initiative that used art therapy to help traumatized children. She worked with Mrs. Evans, visiting shelters and schools, teaching children to express their feelings through drawing. How do you feel doing this? Asked a reporter during an interview. I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose, replied Lily. I feel like all the pain I went through was worth it if I can use that experience to help other children. And your family supports you? Completely. They have always supported me in everything. What advice would you give to children who are going through difficulties? To never give up, that there is always someone willing to help, that family can be found in the most unexpected places, and for adults who want to help, to open their eyes, to pay attention to the children around them, that a simple gesture can change an entire life, like it changed yours. Exactly. My dad saved me because he decided to act when he saw me being humiliated. My mom fought to come back to me, and my heart mom created a plan to unite us. Do you believe in destiny? I believe, but I believe that destiny needs our participation. We need to choose love, choose kindness, choose to help. Any final message? Yes. To any child who is watching, you deserve to be loved. You deserve a family. You deserve to be happy. And if you haven't found that yet, don't give up, because somewhere, someone is waiting to love you. And for the adults, Open your hearts. There are children waiting for you. There are families waiting to be formed. There are stories waiting to have happy endings. Because in the end, what matters is not where we come from, but where we go. And when we go together, we go further. That night at home, Lily was in her room organizing drawings from children she had helped with the project. Mr. Thompson and Isabella came in to say good night. "We're proud of you," said Mr. Thompson. "Very proud," agreed Isabella. "Thank you for believing in me." "Thank you for choosing us as your family," said Isabella. "You saved me," said Lily. "You saved us," corrected Mr. Thompson. "How?" "You taught us what true love is. You showed us that family is about choice, not about convention. You gave us a purpose," added Isabella. "What purpose?" "To love unconditionally, to protect those who need it, to build bridges where others see walls." "That's beautiful," said Lily. "It's the truth," said Mr. Thompson. "Daddy Thompson, Mommy Isabella." "Yes? Thank you for giving me the best family in the world." "Thank you for making us the best family in the world," they replied. "Good night, daughter," said Mr. Thompson, kissing her forehead. "Good night, my dear," said Isabella, doing the same. "Good night, family," said Lily, smiling. When her parents left, Lily looked out the window at the garden, where it had all begun. Bethany's flowers continued to bloom, beautiful and fragrant. "Thank you, Aunt Bethany," she whispered, "for creating our family, for giving me the best parents in the world, for teaching me that it's possible to fly high and always have a place to come back to. And I promise that I will continue helping other children find their families, because I've learned that love multiplies when it's shared." That night, Lily slept peacefully, knowing that she was loved, protected, and that she had a bright future ahead. She had flown far from pain and suffering, but never alone. She had flown accompanied by the love of a family that chose her and that she chose back, and that was truly the best way to fly.